gossip, fuck around me with the chatting. Do right by my people, so them blessings I'm attracting. Niggas, they be sleep, let them snooze, watch me eat, ayy. Never post a comment, but DM me, you a beast, ayy. Cleveland, that's the city, and the 180 elite. Product of this jungle, I'm a lion off the leash, ayy. Tryna steal the sauce, you just me, on repeat. Claiming that you made me, then gon' show me some receipts. Ball, bitch, I ball like athletes. What you doing now, what you did is obsolete, ayy. Well-rounded with it, your hustle is incomplete. I can get it corporate or go get it out the street. Shout out to the gang. How you? I'm blessed, bruh. Blessed and never stressed. And highly favored. Hold on. I can't complain, y'all. What's up, y'all? So look, we're gonna do shit a little different today. If you don't want to hear this shit, the door is to your left and to your right. We just gonna I'm big on content. Y'all know that, right? So I'm going to end up making these videos anyway. So I thought about it this morning, like, what better way to do it than live and then just say the vibe. You driving on the 2 today. You was on point. You know what I'm saying? So it's a off day if you don't really do college because it ain't no baseball, ain't no football. So I'm like, what better time? Like, this is how I really am off of stream. I don't never know enough. You feel me? So it's like every time I get any type of time where I ain't got to be locked in on numbers all day, I take that time. I be all through YouTube. I be up and down Twitter, paying attention to certain shit. So I'm always just trying to figure out a new way to figure out how to get a bag. I don't feel like it's never too many ways to know what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. I'm going through like my wins, my losses. I'm doing all that shit. I'm telling you, like, I'm really a student of this shit to try to get better. And then at the end of the day, you got to think about it. It's a lot of people daily that come in here and they listen to what I gotta say and they feel like what I say hold weight. So I definitely gotta stay sharp on my shit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because I never lie to y'all or feed y'all nothing I don't know or no BS. So I'm always trying to like get better. So I said, you know what? Let's take the day. And before it's all said and done, what I will do, because somebody DM me and I didn't answer them, but if you in here, I seen your message. I'll look at that WNBA game and those 5 college football games for you. I got you. But I said, you know what? Let's take the day. Really, I was just looking for a reason to turn this bitch on because I was gonna take the day off because it ain't really the main sports on. But I'm like, no, we got to keep the content rolling. So, any questions? I asked on the timeline, but in case you missed it, if it's anything gambling related that you don't understand, don't know, need more information, whatever it is, today is the day that we gonna go ahead and just get an understanding on anything that you may have an issue with. It ain't no right question, wrong question. Like you gonna have somebody we all know. It's just like class, who they have something they want to ask, but they don't want to be the one to ask. So maybe somebody else will ask, and they just need to hear the answer. I don't care how it happened. What's up, y'all? In the chat, doing good. So if it's something that you need clarity on, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's that simple. Now, it's a couple things. I was over here taking notes that I feel like I need to discuss, right? That I feel like is essential to what we doing. But outside of that, I'll answer any questions or anything that you may need that you not clear about, and hopefully it help you with going into anything you betting on moving forward, starting tomorrow when baseball come back, football and all that this weekend, or whatever, right? So it's all about trying to just sharpen your tools, man. Like I said, I'm always trying to get sharper. And I will be the first to admit, the reason I feel like I'm so relatable to most people is because I come through the same struggle in the same way y'all coming into the game. I didn't come into this shit with a lot of money or knowing the right way of going about this, right? I'm coming in using my check money from being a server. I'm betting $5 on just any fucking thing. One of the biggest things I always tell people is like when you newer to gambling, I wish I would have knew what I knew now. Because when Ohio went legal 3 years ago, you got to think FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesar, all these sports books, right? They give you that sign-up bonus. I had about $6,000 in free bets. If I know what I know now, if I knew what I know now, I would have flipped that $6,000 in free bets to one of the biggest bankrolls ever. You know what I'm saying? I blew through that shit because, for one, I tell y'all all the time, I come in thinking that by me knowing the sports, this gambling shit was going to be a breeze. One thing I've learned over time is the more often than not, the more you know the sport, the worse you are capping it because more emotion come into it because you know players. Your pride will take over more of your bets than the data will. So I already came in the game thinking like, okay, I know basketball, I played it my whole life. I know football, I played it my whole life. I'm thinking that that's gonna give me an advantage, but really it's a disadvantage because me knowing having so much head knowledge about it, I was going into stuff not paying attention to nothing else but what I think I knew, and it had to gradually hit me like that ain't how this gambling shit go, bruh. What you thinking and all that shit don't hold no weight. So a lot of the stuff that people go through or going through, I've been through. So that's why it's easier for me to relate to people because I only speak from an experience point. I'm not sitting here talking about nothing I ain't did, do, or been through, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons why I try to come on here and help the next person so they don't got to go through those steps that I had to go through because it wasn't nobody like me giving me the game. I came in and lost so much money when I started this shit because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just betting. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting money on shit. I'm just blowing all my bread. And then it clicked to me like, I'm just like everybody else. So I'm seeing this unit shit, right? I'm seeing these people like putting plays up on Twitter and I'm seeing this 1U, 0.25U. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And when I found out what it was, I'm like, it really didn't like click to me. I'm like, okay, you're not about to sit here and tell me what I'm gonna bet on this or what I'm gonna bet on that. And again, you know what I'm saying? They always say like a person who ain't willing to learn or at least give something a try, then you're gonna always set yourself back. So then I had to learn that shit and try to figure out the easiest thing for me was at least try it. Everything that I've seen that even in the back of my mind, I'm like, that ain't really my style. I had to think about it like, how is it not my style if I ain't never did it? So I used to put shit on like 30-day trials, right? All right, let me just do it this specific way for 30 days and see what happens. You can't go, no way of doing any of this. You can only say, I'm gonna do today or I'm gonna do for a week. Because most of this shit is about long-term winning. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people who feel like they don't care about long-term, they care about now. But I always tell y'all that the biggest thing that helped me with gambling was taking this shit and making it more realistic to my real life, right? So that's why I tell you all the time, a lot of stuff that people say, for me, when I hear it, I just equate it to a real life situation. And I'm like, you contradicting yourself. Like, that don't even make sense because if you take away the sport part of it and you put that same scenario into a real life situation, you will go about it totally different. I always tell y'all like builders or like straight bets, like a plus 100. The main thing you see most people say is that ain't winning me no real money. A plus 100 or a builder is like a double flip. So whatever you wager, you're gonna double that, right? So nothing is guaranteed in gambling. We know that. But the way I look at it is like, okay, so if a person came up to me and told me like, it was a high chance because ain't none of this shit a lock, so nothing is guaranteed. But if a person came up to me and said, "Give me $10 and I'll give you 20 with a 80% chance of no risk to it," I'm gonna take that every time. If you're gonna sit here and just give me double of what I'm about to give you, I'm gonna take it every time. So I'm equating it to like, why wouldn't I play a plus 100 straight then if it's gonna double my bread? We know at the end of the day, all of this shit is a risk. We betting on other people to do something, not your own skill set, not your own drive. You betting on another person. So it's like I'm trying to take that into account, like make as many of these situations into a realistic situation and it change my way of thinking. Ain't been listening to plan what you saying and working, but yeah, I mean, and it's gonna help some don't. I tell you all the time, at the end of the day, all you can do is do your part. All I can do is just at least attempt, right? So I say all that to say the first thing I wanted to talk about was bankroll. Now, the reason I want to talk about bankroll is because I notice from people asking me, from shit I read on the timeline, a lot of people get bankroll and unit confused. They get those two confused. Those are two separate things. They get those two things. A lot of people get both of those confused. They bankroll and then a unit size. Like they're not the same thing. Pedro, thank you for that sub. They're not the same. A bankroll, again, the reason why people fuck with me and the reason I feel like it's easy for me to teach, I know how to make shit sound like super easy. Like fuck the bankroll. Fuck a bankroll. Fuck that word. Let's use the word budget. I think we all know what that is, right? That's all a bankroll is. So It's an amount of money that you put into the side that you feel like that you told yourself, if I lose this amount of, if I lose all of this, it's over with. I'm done. Till I either make it back or you might be finished from that point. That's what a bankroll is. A tip I'll give you, or something that I was taught, was never make a bankroll for a day. That'll never work. You're gonna catch yourself depositing every single day. If you catch yourself putting money on a book every day, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it absolutely wrong. You don't make a bankroll for a day. The lowest you should make a bankroll for is a week. But most people who professionals, they have a bankroll for the season. So they'll go into like NBA about to start. So they'll already say, I got 1,000, or I got 5,000, or I got 10,000 that I'm willing to lose in NBA. That's their bankroll. That's their budget. They say they go over that amount. They're not. It's over with. That's the difference between that. A unit is just a portion of the budget. Your unit size is 1% of whatever your bankroll is. You can. Some people do 2%. Some do 3%. I'm all about easy math. The reason I always kept it at 1% is because if so, look. It's the easy way to show you. So yeah, just start there. A lot of people think that bankroll and units, I see a lot of people confuse the two, and they're not the same. So your unit size ain't nothing literally but a portion of the bankroll. And I'm gonna tell you why it's like that. God damn, this bitch is bright. Ain't no way I'm about to have that shit on full screen. I can make it bigger than this, but hold up. All right, so look. So say, and I'm always gonna do a small number because it's always, including myself when I was at that point, it's always the small wager, the small betters, and I'm not knocking them because again, I was there. It's always them who try to make the excuses of why these other things don't work. I don't bet enough to, I don't, you hear that so much. So a lot of my research, I mean, the way I teach it is I'm gonna always target a small bankroll. So I can show specifically that group of people that it worked regardless. And then if your bankroll bigger, then of course it's just tripling, right? So let's say you go into this NBA season and say, I got $1,000 that I'm willing to lose, that you done put up, you done worked, whatever you done did, you done came up on some bread, $1,000. Cool. $1,000 is your bankroll. That's what you saying. You telling yourself, I'm willing to lose. Now, this is the bankroll. The unit size is 1% of that, which is $10. Which is that's why if y'all ever notice, you always see people say try to start with $1,000, because guess what? You can say $100, right? We can do $100. Say you got $100 bankroll. Your 1% would be $1 a bet, maximum, right? This is one of the funniest things. Going back to nigga math. What's up with it, A-Dot? This going back to that nigga math shit. How people minds is bigger than their pockets. You'll hear a person say, $1 ain't no money. Now, I'm saying this in context of just what we're talking about. It's not making fun of nobody because I was at this point. Nigga, $100 ain't no money. How you gonna say that the dollar unit size ain't no money when the bankroll wasn't no money? Like, make it make sense, right? Like, if you only starting with $100, what the fuck was we doing? We gonna bet $25 bets and we wiped out in 4 losses? 4 $25 bets, I'm back depositing every day. So like, make it make sense. So that's why you always hear people say, if you can possibly start with around 500, that'll be a $5 bankroll, or 1,000, that's a $10. These are minimums. The reason being why that helps you is, think about it like this. We can even use this dollar, right? We're gonna even say, we're gonna stay with this $100 bankroll, and we're gonna say your unit size is $1. If you bet $1 maximum, the most you put on a single bet was $1 with a $100 bankroll, you would have to lose 100 of those bets in a row. And the reason I said in a row is because if you lose one, then win the next one, you broke even. So it's like a tilting game, right? But if you lost, you would have to lose this $1 bet 100 times in a row to use your whole bankroll. So you see how, like, say you use 5 or 10 units, $5 or $10 in one day, right? Guess what you ain't got to do the next day? You still got 90 units left. You don't have to deposit no more until you get up, till you use the whole 100. If you are a person, I say this wholeheartedly, if you are a person who can lose 100 bets in a row, my nigga, get a job, pack this shit up. I'm dead ass. Pack this shit up. This is not the way. Sometimes guys send you signs, and we all have ways of not paying attention to the sign. Pack this shit up. This ain't it. This is not for you. It's just that simple. If you can lose 100 bets in a row, nigga, pack this shit up. Go to the nearest motherfucker. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta go nowhere. Get on your phone, download Indeed, get the Uber app, and get your ass a job, my nigga. This ain't it. God, it's no other way to put it dead smack in your face with God telling you, nigga, this ain't your calling. Go on your ass to a different route. Go invest in some stocks. Go play the lottery. Go do something else if you're trying to find that, because this shit ain't it. If you can lose 100 bets in a row, nigga, you have graduated to ass cheeks. Right? So that's why units are in place. It only helps you. The easy way I put it, the way I tell my Discord is this. Winning gonna do what winning do. Winning gonna win money, right? It's the losses that usually kill people. And it's not because you lost, it's because people are betting all kind of different amounts, and those losses gonna start adding up because they reckless betting. Like, they only got this same $100, but they making $10 bets. Well, that's perfectly fine, but do math. If you making $10 bets with a $100 bankroll, 10 losses, you're out of here. So if you telling me that using a 1 unit size as 1%, I got 90 more bets to lose than you do, because you made your unit size, basically the amount you usually betting, 10% of your bankroll by betting $10 out of your 100 every bet. $10 you're gonna lose. Anybody gambling for more than 2 days know that losing streaks are guaranteed. You're gonna go through losing streaks. So the losing part of this shit is what be killing people, because they're betting. I'm not gonna say improperly. It's your bread. You do what you want to do. But I'm saying they're mathematically, they're not setting themselves up to prepare for losing streaks. Say I go 2 days and I don't win a bet and I used up 20 units. We using the same $100. I lost $20 out of my 100, but guess what though? I still got 80 units to figure this shit out. I still got 80 bets. Now, it's really more bets than this, because the way I break it down to my chat is, I only put a unit, a full 1%, on 2 things. A bankroll builder, which is a plus 100 parlay, a little safer parlay. Ain't nothing to lock in this shit. I've lost minus 1,000 legs. That's why I don't use them bitches no more. I only use a full 1% on a bankroll builder plus 100 or a straight plus 100, like in that plus 100-ish range. Everything else, if you look anywhere, go into the play I showed y'all yesterday. If you pay attention to most people when they drop a play, the higher the odds, the lower you use. Now, I'm glad I thought about that, because people have asked me this as well. This is something else that be fucking people up. Okay, perfect example. How do I get this on this screen? So that's the only time I use a full 1%, is when I play a builder or a straight. That's the only time I'm using that full $1. We gonna stay with this little $100 bankroll. Now again, just do the math. If your bankroll 1,000, that dollar's 10. If your bankroll 10,000, that dollar's 100. That's why I used to be like people when I used to see people. Look, I'm telling y'all, I come from where everybody else come from, right? So when I first started gambling, being a $5 bettor, and I used to see people on the timeline betting $100 and $200, I'm like, there's no way I'm ever putting that amount of money on no bet. Ever. Right? How many of y'all done said that? How many of y'all have looked at a person bet that amount of money and be like, ain't no way I'm ever putting that amount on no bet? I know I was like, nigga, especially being a $5 bettor, I'm like, nigga, $100? I'm thinking to myself like, nigga, I bet $100 on a bet, it is over with. Especially being a $5 bettor, if I bet 100 on anything and that bitch don't lose, nigga, I'm homeless. That's how I'm thinking, right? But then as I start learning bankrolling units, most of them who are betting 100, the same rules apply to the dollar to 100. So treat it like that. That's $1 to their 100. If they betting 100, that mean a bankroll is around $10,000. That 100 is like losing $1 out of 100 to them. So as my bankroll grew and I started betting those amounts of money, it made sense. It didn't hurt me losing 100 because my bankroll was 10,000. It didn't hurt me to lose 50 because my bankroll was 5,000. This is only 1% of what I really got overall to gamble with. So when you know, as you start doing it that way, it start making more sense why a person can lose $100 here, $100 there, and they're not really affected by it because these are only 1% here, 1% there out of 100% bankroll, right? So you gotta learn that. You gotta just build your bankroll. I'm gonna give y'all some game on how I did that too on some simple shit. But look at this play I posted yesterday. It said a 0.25 unit, a quarter unit. So people have asked me in the Discord before, is that 25 units? Now, I'm not saying this. One thing I will say that I've learned from dealing with like units, numbers, and shit like this, gambling really exposed that a lot of people skip math class. A lot of people skip math class. Now, I still take it upon myself to go above and beyond. I don't judge from it, and I'm gonna still try to find a lesson in what you asking me. Because in what world is 0.25 not a quarter, right? Like it's 0.25 and 1/4 is the same thing. Like, so people used to ask me, like, is that 25 units? I'm like, 25 units? Hell no. I'm not that 5 unit, 15, 20 unit well max lock. We ain't doing that. I ain't never betting over 1% on no bet. But what I was saying was, remember what I told you. If you bet 1% on each bet, that's 100 bets you would have to lose in a row. With me, it's kind of even more than that. Because when I make parlays, 90% of the time it's a quarter unit. So let's go back to the dollar, which I'm telling you I would never spend over. I'm never going to spend over 1% of the bankroll. So $1 is the max I'm ever going to spend if my bankroll was 100, right? A quarter of that, when I say a quarter unit, or you see somebody say a half a unit, they're saying a quarter or a half of the 1%. So I'm not saying, I'm not telling you we're using $100 bankroll. I'm not saying a quarter unit of the bankroll, which would be 25 units. No, I'm saying a quarter unit of the one unit, 1/4 of 1 unit. So if your bankroll was 100, your unit size would be $1, a quarter unit would be a quarter, right? If your bankroll was 1,000 and your unit size was 10, a quarter unit would be $2.50. So if you betting in quarter units and half a units, now you done damn near doubled and tripled 100 bets in a row. If you did all quarter units, it would take what, 400 bets in a row to wipe through your whole bankroll. You would have to lose 400 times in a row if you did all quarter unit bets, which is how you should apply it. I'm not telling you what part of one, but the higher the odds. So for me, this is like a general thing for me. A builder, so like -130 to like +150-ish. That range, full unit. Once I get to like 200 to like 600-ish, half a unit. Notice as I'm going up, as the odds go higher, which is the risk getting higher, I'm going down out of my 1 unit. So it's full unit for like that +100-ish range, 2 to 5, 600, half a unit. Once I get to like 700 and up, it's a quarter unit until I get to like, for me, it's like plus, where I'm considering like lotto, like 4,000-ish. Once I get that bitch to like +4, 5,000 into that 10,000 range, where it's $10 to 1,000, I'm only sprinkling 1/10 of a unit. So if my unit size was $1 on those like home run lottos and all them big ass lottos, if my unit size was $1, I'm only playing them for 10 cents, 1/10 of the 1 unit. If my unit size was 10, I'm only gonna throw $1 on those. The higher the risk, the lower I'm gonna spend out of the 1%. I'm never, ever, ever going over 1% of my bankroll on no bet. But I'm only gonna spend a full unit on between that -130 to, like I said, like -130 to like +150-ish in that area, whether that be a straight bet or a builder. Those are the only two, like in that range, is where I'm spending a full 1%. After that, as I go up, that 1% is getting broke down into half of that, into a quarter of that, into 1/10 of that. So that's how stay on top. Remember, I just told y'all yesterday, I'm not a person. It's a reason why I don't promote my Discord, because I don't give a fuck about if a person sub or not. I don't depend on sub money. I'm literally still using majority of the money I won from that KBO play 2 summers ago. And that's because what I did was, it was like perfect timing. That's when I learned the bankroll and the unit size. So I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. Out of that 38,000, I took 20,000 and made that my bankroll, which gave me a $200 unit size. And then I started breaking it down from there. So I've always had that in my pocket, to where I kept 18 for myself. Well, they ended up giving me, out of that 36, I'll take that back. They gave me like 21. So I ended up keeping like 2 racks for myself to spend and shit like that. And the rest I just put as my bankroll, which made, out of a 20,000 bankroll, it gave me a $200 unit size. And I was just busting it down like that. So that's why I say that. The same shit that I'm trying to teach the next is what applies for me. I don't sit here and blow through money and just be betting recklessly. Oh, 100 here, 800 there, 500 there, to where I don't blew through my own money. I don't need sub money, because I'm still applying these same rules using units, so I stay within my body and prepare myself for losing streaks. I've been through many of them. Some lasted longer than others, but it don't really phase me, because I'm still applying the same rule where I'm not over betting for no reason. Oh, I went on a winning streak, so let me just up it up right. Nope, nope. The only time I've upped my unit size, because people always ask me this, is when, me personally, when I double my full unit. I mean, my full bankroll. So if I had $1,000, which is a $10 unit size, I'm not going up to $20 until, since my bankroll was 1,000, till I profit 1,000. I need that 1,000 to be 2,000 for me to feel comfortable with going up in unit size, to where I feel like even if I lose some bets at the new unit size, I gave myself enough wiggle room to where it's not gonna hurt me. I know people who say 10 units, 20 units, 50 units. Some people got a lower number. For me, it's just easier when I know I did a whole double flip. So if I got a 10,000, and which is a $100 unit size, I'm not gonna up my unit off of 2 days of having a hot streak. No, that ain't gonna do it. Because as soon as I go up to 200 and the cold streak come, which we know guaranteed, now I'm fucked up. So for me, I need to profit a full 100 units. In other words, just double my whole bankroll for me to feel comfortable to go up. But that part is to each his own, though. I fuck with it here and there. Um, that's to each his own. So I just wanted to knock that out. Because I know, like I said, a lot of people get bankroll and unit size confused. And again, I'm always about helping. So in my Discord, I have an actual bankroll bot. I have a whole ass bankroll bot in Legends World. And basically what it do is this. It's the same math that I'm showing y'all, but the people who don't want to do the math, they can just use this. So like, say they don't know what their bankroll is, right? So they come in here, they can put backslash bankroll, and then the amount of money that they got. Remember, your bankroll is your budget. So say they say, I got $1,000 that I'm willing to lose this week, this month, this sports season. If they put that in, it'll tell them what their unit size is. 1% recommended would be $10. They can go to 2 or 3, but you notice which ones say recommended. The 1% that I'm telling y'all. Because once you go to 2%, now you down to 50 losses before wiping out. 3%, 33 losses. You know what I'm saying? So that 1%, you got a full 100 bets you can lose. So on here, it tell you your bankroll, your unit size based on your bankroll. It also tell you, say I put 0.25 units, right? Like I was just showing y'all. Say I signal a play in the Discord for a quarter unit, and they don't really know what that quarter unit is out their bankroll. So since they know the unit size is $10, if they go to backslash unit, they can put, okay, my unit size is $10, which I've learned from putting it in the bankroll, and Banner said 0.25 on this play, whatever that means. It'll tell them what out of that $10 to spend based on the recommended wager amount I put in units. So it's telling them, oh, if he said a quarter unit and your unit size is 10, he's telling you to put 250 on that play. And another reason people do that, it's a universal language. It's just a universal language. When I was new to gambling, right, and I was a $5 better. If I seen you drop a play on Twitter that you was giving us the tail, and you put $100 on it, the first thing my mind thought, because I was a smaller better, was, and it sounds dumb to even say it now, because now that I know what I know. When I was a $5 better and you put $100 on the bet, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, he confident in this play. He really liked this play. He spent $100 on that bitch because I'm coming from a lower $5. So the first thing that clicked in my mind was, oh, he's super confident in this play. As I got more advanced and learning this shit, I tell people all the time, people used to ask me, I don't hear this much, how confident are you in this play? Nigga, I'm confident in my research. I don't trust none of these niggas, ever. I don't trust none of these niggas. I would tell anybody that. I ain't heard that question in a minute. Maybe that's why. I used to tell people that all the time. I'm confident in my research, in me making the right reads. I don't trust no nigga on this parlay, if I'm being honest with you. They go out there and do their job, thank you, Lord. If they don't, I'm not surprised. I don't trust nobody on my parlay. I trust the research, right? So I used to always think when they showed the wager amount, the more money they put, I used to think they was more confident in the play. No, they going by the same rules, nigga. That was just probably a quarter unit of they bankroll. So it's just a universal language. Whether your bankroll 100, my bankroll 1,000, his bankroll 10,000, guess what? 1% is in all of our bankrolls. If I tell you 1%, my 1% is 10, yours may be $1, his may be 50. At the end of the day, we all risk the same amount out of our bankroll by me telling you 1 unit. So that's another reason people talk in units. It's a universal language. Everybody got a different bankroll. We all risking the same percent of it, not the same amount, but my 1%, your 1% is different, but it's still 1% out of both our bankrolls. So it's just that simple. I used to always think that. I'm telling y'all, I come from the same place that most 90% of the casuals coming from. Like, so I understand where they mind be at. I used to think the more money you put on that bitch, the more confident you was. Because I'm looking at it like, damn, I'm only going to bet $5. So if you put 100, 200, 500, damn, he loved this play. That was just probably a quarter unit out of his bankroll. We don't know how much money that nigga's sitting on. So that $100 might have been 0.25 units out of his, out of whatever, his full bankroll, where I'm only going to bet this $5. So I had to learn. That's how I kind of know your confidence level, by the unit size you recommend. That'll tell me more about it than the actual dollar amount. You know what I'm saying? A person is more confident in a 1 unit, 2 unit play that they give you than they are in the quarter unit, half a unit play, based on the odds. It's all on risk. Like for me, I'm not necessarily looking at, I bet off risk. Like I told y'all, those windows I got that tell me kind of, I don't bet more or less based on a single prop. No prop for no person will decide my unit size on a play. I strictly go off the risk, which is what we see from the line. I mean, the odds. Minus 130 to plus 150-ish, full unit. 200 to 600, half a unit. Up to like from 700 to like plus 3,000-ish, quarter unit. Anything over 3,000 to me is a lotto. Because a 3,000 is a 30 to 1 chance of hitting. So once we go over that, everything is a sprinkle. 1/10 of 1%. The people on the parlay will never make me decide, oh, I like this more or I like this less. No, sir. I bet strictly off risk. The higher the risk, the less I'm going risk of my bankroll. So the higher the odds, the lower I go out of that 1%. Just that simple. Expect the unexpected. You got to expect everything to lose. And that's not even going away from your confidence. That's the only thing in gambling that's guaranteed. So you got to expect losses. That's why I always be like, the way that some people be out of body about losses is say one of two things, and mainly one, that you are betting out of your means. Because if that one loss is crutching you to that point, if you think about it like this and you betting like this, what is one loss? What is 1% out of 100? What is 5 losses? What is 5% out of 100? I still got 95 more units, 95% more of my bankroll that I can try again tomorrow. So when these motherfuckers be super butthurt about this shit, it's telling you out of the gate that they betting out their means. Everybody get mad about a loss. It's the difference from that and the way these niggas be on the timeline ranting, going at the cappers and shit like that. Like, no, nigga, you mad. And the only reason you could possibly be that goddamn mad is you done spent the baby's goddamn diaper money. You betting way out of your means. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you betting strategically and you managing your bankroll, you're going to be all right. So that's bankroll for you. That's what bankroll managing is. For those who never understood what units was, that's how it works. That's how it applies. If you use it, good. If you don't, good. It's your bread. I'm just only here to try to help and tell y'all at least what people are talking about when they go that route. You know what I'm saying? Or what is it? Or what's the reason behind it? It's basically just the easiest way to sum it up is it cover your losses. Like I said, we ain't gonna do what wins do. Most people crutched by the losses. They betting this amount, that amount, and then they catch themselves losing everything. They had $100 today, and they had two $50 plays. Right? They done lost both plays, fucked them up. The losses is what hurt most people. So that's all really like the unit betting is doing is covering your losing days. Like I said, let's say 5 days. Say I lost 2 units 5 days in a row. Oh shit, I'm on a super cold streak. I ain't won in 5 days. Well, if I only lost 2 units per day, I only lost 10 units. I still have 90 units left to fix this shit. You get what I'm saying? A 5-day stretch of losses for some people when you just blindly betting, meaning just betting different amounts, that's gonna wipe their ass out. Now they going back in their pocket to deposit again and trying to start over that way. Whereas the person unit betting, they look at it like, okay, I am in code, but that 10% out of my 100% full bankroll ain't gonna kill me. I ain't got a deposit. I'm still got 90 units to figure this shit out. Because you know, if you're on a losing streak, a winning streak coming. If you're on a winning streak, a losing streak coming. The shit is law average. So that's like the method to the madness behind unit betting. It just cover your like losing days. It helps you be able to recover from losses without having to keep going in your pocket, depositing to these sports books. So got that out the way. The next thing is a few people mentioned to me, and I know this be kicking a lot of people ass. So I definitely said I was going to talk about this. This goddamn spread. Spreads. 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 That spread shit be fucking niggas up, including myself at one point. So, oh shit, I ain't even know my camera, my bad. That spread shit be dogging shit. How many of y'all don't know how that spread shit go? Yeah, it definitely used to kick my ass. I didn't understand it. I didn't know like what was the point of that shit. Nigga, just drop the money line, maybe the total. What exactly is the spreads, right? I get it to an extent. I feel it is too, but that's not everybody though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not everybody. And that's cool. That's perfectly fine. Like, again, I didn't. I'm gonna explain it to y'all. And the good thing about spreads is it's the same across every sport. Why do they even have spreads? Spreads is the gambling way of making two lopsided teams even. If spread wasn't a thing, it would be kind of hard to make money on certain teams because the money line is going. Perfect example. Look at this Charlotte, Florida. Take away this spread. If spreads wasn't a thing, say you like, I know South Florida about to beat them. You ain't about to make no money on no much fucking plus 45,000. What, $100 gonna win you what? $2? You're not gonna make no money off of this, right? If spreads wasn't a thing and all you had was money lines. Why is this minus 4,500? Because they that much better than them. Spreads is the gambling in the gambling world is the way that they figure out a way to make two teams that's super lopsided even, right? By power rankings, home away records, all kinds of shit go into that algorithm, into that equation that I'm not about to sit here and even try to memorize or figure out. Just make it like this. Like I said, this team is telling you at minus 4,500 to win that they are absolutely 100 times better than Charlotte on paper. And I say on paper because we know upsets come every day, especially in college sports. On paper, they are 100 times better than them. Now, how can we figure out a way to make people be able to bet on this game with a more even playing field when one team is up here and one team is down here? Spreads. Now, if you don't know this, which I feel like most do, but if you don't know, every game in every sport got a minus side, and that go for money line, spread, and spread. A minus side, which is the team favored to win, or that prop, and then you got a plus side, which is the underdog. Now, the bigger the spread, the bigger the difference in the teams. Notice again, minus 4,500. Now the spread in this game is minus 28 points. That's a big ass spread. The further apart the two teams are, the bigger the spread gonna be. In so many words, they looking at it like if they had to look at power rankings, scores, home and away, that 27.5 is roughly like the even number that they're apart. They feel like Charlotte ain't 28 points worse than South Florida, and South Florida is 27 points better. Ain't 27 points better. It's like a middle field where they think that that's a number that they both, if you take that top and that bottom of both teams, that's like a number that they feel like they both can get to, right? Spread is, if you the negative side, if you the minus side of the spread, you have to win by more than that number. What's up with it, kid? You got to win by more than that number. So South Florida, in order to cover this spread, they have to beat Charlotte by 28 points. When you the favorited spread, meaning the minus spread, it's only one way to cover it. You got to win by more than that number. Simple as that. If they win by 27 points today, they won the game, they lost the spread. It's that simple. It's only one way to cover the spread when you're the favorited side, the negative. You have to win by more than that number. South Florida minus 27.5. In order to cover, they have to beat Charlotte today by 28 points. When you the underdog side, it's two ways of covering your spread. One, don't lose by 28 points. If Charlotte go out there and they lose by 27 points, they won the spread bet. Don't lose by the number. Don't lose by more than that number. So if you the plus side, the underdog, all Charlotte got to do is don't lose by 28 or more points. That's one way to cover it. The other way to cover it is just win. Just win. Just go out that bitch and upset them. If you the underdog side, I mean, I feel like that's self-explanatory. If you can't lose by 28 and you won by 1, you didn't lose by 28. But I'm just going to break it down into two. It's two ways of winning that when you're the underdog side. Just don't lose by that amount or upset. Either way, you didn't lose by 27.5, so you cover your spread. But when you, like I said, when you're the favorite side, and again, I don't give a fuck what the sport is. WNBA, 3.5, minus 3.5. Vegas, to cover the spread, they got to beat Phoenix by 4 tonight. Phoenix don't want to cover their spread, lose by 3 or less, or upset. Don't matter the sport. NHL. The only one that be having them weird ones is NHL and MLB. I noticed that they shit is always 1.5. So that's just telling you that they don't really gauge those the same. Oh, these ain't got none. College basketball. I know another one, because the one that really be fucking people up that from how I gamble is where do you see the what's names that on here? Is this it? Look, UFC. Oh, they don't got spreads. Where's tennis? Because I don't know why that one they seem like it's different to them. How do you? What the rest of the sports at? Look, NFL. You can even look at NFL. For Sunday, same thing. The favorite side is Minnesota, who they feel like gonna win. Minnesota gotta beat the Browns by 4. So if the Browns can somehow lose by a field goal or less, they cover their spread. And then you can also look at this and kind of tell when it's a super lopsided difference. Like the biggest spread is what? Take a look, a 10.5. So they got Detroit Lions 10.5 points better than Cincinnati this week. That's a high spread. 8.5 is a high spread. Damn, this is a high spread. Oh, this week's Green Bay 13.5 over Cincinnati. So Green Bay got to beat them by 2 touchdowns, 14 points or more. If Cincinnati can stay within 2 touchdowns or upset, they cover their spread. So spreads super easy. It's the same across every sport. So when you see that, I took up or minus 1.5. If you took minus 1.5, whatever it is you took, they got to win by 2 or more. If you took the plus 1.5, that team can't lose by 2 or more. They got to stay under that 1.5. So they got to stay at losing by 1 or upset. So it applies to every sport, NFL, WNBA, NBA, tennis, anything with spreads. Like I said, MLB and NHL, that shit is minus 1.5 plus 1.5 every time. So I don't really look at that one the same. So But for every other sport, that's all the spread mean. It's a way of them. The bigger the spread, the better one team is over the other one. So remember, I tell y'all, odds tell you some, lines tell you some within itself. So the bigger the spread, the worse one of them teams are. When the spreads are tighter, 2.5s, 1.5s, threes, those teams by power rankings are a little closer. Like right here, 1.5. This is a 1.5 spread for Texas Ravens. So based on power rankings, home, away, all of that shit, they feel like these two teams is a toss up, -1.5. That's a toss up. That's a super tight spread. That's super low. So they feel like those two teams are more even. The bigger the spread, the more lopsided it get. But it's a way of making a lopsided matchup or any matchup be more of an even playing field. That's where the spread come in at. But just remember, the minus side, you have to win by more than that number. The plus side, either lose by less than that number, lose, or just upset and win, which is not losing by that number. So that's where the do you use spreads to fade certain games? I used to. That's something you can do. Hey, K4, thank you for that sub. That's something you can do, especially in college. When college basketball come around, y'all gonna start seeing some nutty shit. I'm talking about 40-point spreads, 35-point spreads. Them games, I scroll right past them bitches. Oh, hell no. You 35, you got this team 35 points better than the other. I'm not touching that. I generally be looking for those tighter games with lower spreads that I can try to figure out some shit in there. In NBA, if y'all remember back in NBA, how did we gauge which games to target and to stay away from? Spreads. Generally, when you see for me, when I see double-digit spreads in NBA, I typically fade those games because the one thing that you're telling me is it always gonna happen? No. But these books don't beat us more than we beat them for no reason. Their algorithms be dead smack on point more often than not. When you see double-digit spreads in NBA, that automatically told me blowout. Automatically told Cuzzo is my promo code on anything I'm affiliated with, bro. So I used to always, if y'all remember going back to Doink days, we used to always target the games with tighter spreads, with lower spread numbers, where the teams are more even, where this shit should be a tighter game to where we can keep our starters in for 4 quarters. When I start seeing 10-point, 12-point, 15-point spreads in NBA, for me, I'm fading them games. Because if you got one of them teams with a, no matter if it cover or not, if you saying the spread is 15.5, on paper, you saying one team is 15 points better than the other one. Well, guess what? In 15 points, if that team down 15 to start the fourth, niggas is sitting down. It's that simple. And we all get cooked in NBA with that blowout shit. So I used to always try to gauge it off the spreads. I always look at the spreads and then of course totals. The higher the total, the more high scoring. But as far as like which games I want to target, I generally stayed away from double-digit spreads in NBA because you basically telling me ahead of time that this game can potentially, more than likely, it's gonna get out of hand. How do you feel about them? It depends on what the data look like. I play alt spreads now. Um, the one thing I do like about Doink is you can bet, like you can research spreads. You can research spreads on Doink. I made a play yesterday that ended up losing, but that was only because that Allen tight end didn't score. It was like over 16.5 team total for San Fran, which they covered in the first half. Not to lose by 6.5. They upset. You know what I'm saying? So they was plus 6.5. They was the underdog. Meaning they couldn't lose by, I'm thinking, no, matter of fact, I think it was plus 8.5. I'm sorry. So they couldn't lose by 9 points. They end up upsetting. So they covered the spread. They covered their team total. I think I had Robinson at plus money for 1 receiving yard. First quarter covered that. I just didn't get the touchdown. But that was all off Doink. You can actually research spreads and totals off Doink that a lot of people don't know about. They just so used to the player prop side. And I'm about to show y'all that. So I just wanted to make sure that we had hit that bankroll. And even somebody today mentioned spreads to me on the timeline. So I hope y'all got a better understanding of that. The minus spread is the favorite team. They have to win by more than that number to cover that spread. The plus side is the underdog. You either can upset and cover that or just don't lose by that much. Like somehow, like if the Browns go out here and I don't know. Somehow they end up winning. I mean, they end up losing by 1, 2. Maybe look, maybe Minnesota game tied, end of the game. Minnesota kick a field goal to win and not go to overtime. Guess what? Browns lost, but they covered the 3.5. They didn't lose by 4 points. They lost by 3. They covered their spread. It's that simple. When you the plus side, just don't lose by more than what the spread is. Or upset. Simple. That was you that asked about spreads? Oh, yeah, no problem. No, I'm not gonna look at that's gonna take away from my stream tomorrow, Jamela. I'm somebody even asked me that about football. I'm like, it's way too early for that. That's gonna take away from those days of content. Like I said, I'm gonna look at what's today. It's 5 games of football. I'm gonna look at and since I can't play player props in Ohio, I'm only gonna look at spreads and totals. I'm gonna make this even make more sense off doing. And I'll look at that one WNBA game. They beating them boys. They might. I'm just saying. I'm just only going off the like what we talking about as far as spreads. If they would end up losing by 3 points on some last second field goal shit, they lost the game, but they covered their spread. By them losing by 3, they still got that 0.5 cushion. They didn't lose by 4 points, so they would have covered their spread. So, is there? Let me see. I just want to make sure. Hold on. This nigga is fried. I go on with bad, man, those. And then that's another thing too. The other thing was I think a lot of y'all have seen before, but I always told y'all like the method for me for how I got into somebody asked me this as well. I'm glad I thought about it. Like, how did I train myself into playing more straights? Somebody asked me that the other day. And the ones who've been around me long enough, I'm just clicking shit, y'all. They know what the bust down is. They know exactly what the bust down means. But I'm gonna show y'all what I be doing. How I was doing it. Everything is how you look at the board. Simple. Everything is how you look at the board. Your vision, how you see shit. So if somebody dropped this 6 leg, this ain't a play. I don't feel like I should have to say that. Y'all just see me click shit, but it's that person. Y'all know that. Where do you be playing your player props at then? Where do you be playing, or is it only NFL? Where do you be playing your player props at then? Or is it only NFL? Huh? Do you like doing overall better compared to other apps? I like doing for certain sports that requires no offensive stats for me. Baseball, I have to use something else. Prop Finder, game days. If that's the only sport where I give a fuck about the offensive player. We gotta know, especially for like homers, the player's power, his barrel. Every other sport, I don't care about the offensive side. I target defensive weaknesses. So it's easier to read for me. That's all. It's all of that shit giving you the same info. It's way easier for me to read. Since you can't do player props in Ohio, where do you do your prop set? Yeah, like all the other sports. I can't do no player props for college no more in Ohio. So I do it all the other one. I This will be my first time on NBA, Jamelo, for NBA on Prop Finder. Prop Finder just came around. I just introduced that in baseball. Like football and like we just got around to football and I haven't even seen, I don't even know what basketball gonna look like on there. I wasn't even using it then. So that your guess good as mine. We're gonna find out together though. But I'm gonna try my hardest. They work with us. So behind the scenes, by all means, I'm gonna figure out what need to be done to make sure it's right. So this play, say I dropped this in the cord, I dropped this on Twitter. Everything is how you look at it. Most people see this as one play. It's a 6 leg plus 165,000, 16,575. Cool. No knock there. I always start with straight bets. So when I click somebody link and I pull it in, this is exactly what I do. To my bets, to your bets, to anybody bets when it's like hella legs. It's the first thing I do. I instantly come to straight bets. The first thing I'm trying to see is how many of these is in here is plus money, right? What's plus money? All the plus money shit I'm playing by itself. Simple. Um, People think that you gotta bet more. Say you got $20. Well, you just gotta do some math. If you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm gonna do this. Let's say Okay, so 6, whatever. If you had 6 here, you got 2 same games. That's 7, 8. This is how I treat these plays. I see 6 solos. I see 2 same games, and then I see the 6 leg. 6, 7, 8. So that's 9 plays I see in this one play. And I treat it as such. So going back to how I was breaking down units, I'm gonna put the most money of my unit size on the straights. Then I'm gonna come up the same game parlays, and whatever I spent on the straights, I'm gonna spend half of that amount on these 2 same game parlays. This plus 1160 and this plus 488. And then half of that amount that I was putting on the same games is what I'll sprinkle on the 6 leg. That's the bust down. So one play I was able to make 9 plays out of. So any which way that this shit can go, I should be able to make some bread. I should be able to make some money out of this somehow. If I go, just going back to the 6 leg, say like 1, 2, let's say like 4 of these hit. Well, for damn sure, I got 4 straights that just hit. Say out of them 4, these 2 hit, right? So say it was like boom, boom, and then these 2. Well, guess what? I just won 4 straights. I just won this Dodgers Philly same game. So even though I lost that 6 leg, I won 5 plays. I just won 5 plays. It went to overtime? Oh, yeah, you did show us that. So it's all on how you really look at it. But this is how I got myself into watering down or playing straights. I used to make parlays, and then I would go into straight bets, see how many was plus money, play the plus monies. Then I would come up, especially if it's like 6 or more legs, most likely it's going to be multiple same game parlays. Then I would play the same game parlays in that parlay, and then I would sprinkle the lowest amount out of the rest of what I had to spend total on the full parlay. So again, you can see this as 6. You could say 3 if you only want to go 6 leg and then the 2 same games, or you can go 9 if you brushing it down to the lowest common denominator all the way down to the plus money straights. So it's however you want to look at it, but it's all on how you see the board when you look at these plays. So that's what that I've been calling it that for 2 years. That's the bust down. Like seeing a big play, especially when you get into them 5-digit odds. Once you get into them 5-digit odds or higher, I guarantee you it's some bust downs in that bitch. There's no way unless they just took like 3 or 4 plus 600s. But most people are scared of high odds. So they made a plus 10,000 out of 10 plus 200s, 10 plus 100s. If you in them 5-digit odds where you get into this like lotto range, I guarantee you it's some shit to bust down in there. It's some same game parlays in there. It's some straight somehow you can finesse where you can put a little bit more money on than you put on the whole lotto. So it's a million ways that you can finesse these and find ways to make money without the entire parlay hitting. Without just relying on, damn, I need this 6 leg to hit for me to make some money. It's either the 6 leg or nothing. No, it's really not that. It's a whole lot of shit in between 6 leg and nothing that you can bust this bitch down to if your mind worked that way and you trying to find as many ways as possible to profit. Appreciate that gifted, bro. So that's what that bust down is. I've been teaching that shit for I don't know how long. That's how you like bust down these big parlays that either you make or people give you. Ain't nothing wrong with playing them, but secure yourself in ways where by this being too many legs and so much going on instead of round robin, just kind of like it's like a manual round robin to me in a sense by doing that where I'm just rather do it that way. And then you got the world famous, which I got a full video on, ain't number like 7 minutes because I'm all about trying to make shit super simple. The round robin. You got the regular round robin. A lot of people come here and they like using this. I tell people for many reasons why I don't personally use their round robin feature. I'd rather do it myself. For one, y'all math be all the way fucked up. So when one leg lose, that should have dropped this amount down something so crazy. I don't trust y'all. So the only way I can see individually what all 3 of my round robins would be in this situation is telling you times 3 twos. So it's telling you in a 3 leg, it's 3 2-leg combinations, right? So you can do it this way. It also take longer to pay out using this feature. The way I do it is I'll play the 3 leg. Say I got $10. I know that this is 4 plays. The 3 leg is 1 play. The 3 2 legs is 3 plays. So 3 and 1 is 4. So if I had $20, I will put 5 here, and then I'm going to manually do it. The way I manually do it is this. Jordan and Nico, That's one two leg at plus 350. I'm gonna put 5 there. Jordan and Otani. That's another two leg. I'm gonna put 5 there. And then Nico and Otani is the last two leg. That's my 3 two legs. So now in my bets, instead of it being that round robin by twos, that one bet, it's gonna be my 3 leg, and then it's gonna be 3 two legs. I did the round robin myself, but I can see individually now what the payout is for every single 2 leg instead of here. Basically, whatever those payouts was on each individual 2 leg that I did manually, right? When you put 5 here, it's gonna take it and just multiply by 3. So since I did 5, 5, 5, when you put 5 here, it's gonna make you wager 15. It's just gonna add all 3 of what I did in one. Say one payout was 10, the other was 10, and the other was 10. This is gonna say 15 to 30. Instead of all of those saying 5 to 10, 5 to 10, 5 to 10, this is gonna say 15 to 30. It's the same exact thing. I just like looking at it individually because I feel like I ain't got to worry about now. Now I know by manually making the 2-mans, if this hit, this is the payout. If this hit, this is the payout. This bitch will say to win $100 and one leg lose when you do it this way. This should go from $100 win to $13. Like, what math are y'all doing? But who the fuck am I? I don't got no type of nothing to know if you did me dirty or not. So guess what? I'd rather do it manually. And when you round robin this way, you got to wait for everything to finish because they got to calculate the odds that hit to see what they're going to give you. When you do it my way manually, soon as that 2-leg hit, it cashes. And guess what? If all of them hit, you won 4 bets. You won your 3-leg and all your round robins. But at least I can see individually gauge because I don't trust these bitches. They math be all the way off. I told this nigga all this shit. This nigga just retarded. Has saved me in my bankroll. That bust down shit, it only makes sense. You know, you just got to figure out ways to do it. But if you use that round robin shit here, that shit gonna be real weird. I'm telling you right now. Because they got to figure out when one of these legs lose, out of the 2 legs that was left, when they get to doing their weird ass math, how much would that have paid? So it's not really the 15 that you thinking about. It would have been really if only 2 of them hit. They think about it. If it was 15, that means divide that 15 by this 3. He only put 5 on this specific 2-man. So now they got to figure out what is 5 and those 2 legs that hit, and then this shit be all kind of weird. I've been stopped using their round robin method, and that's also why I always tell y'all I never go over 3 legs on lottos. So once you add a 4th leg, now that bitch got a what is it? Now you got a whole nother problem. Now you got a times 3 times 4, and then your times 2 is 6. Now you got 10 plays out of round robins, times 4 times 6. I'm manual. I'm not making no 6 2 legs and no 3 4 legs. I'm not doing that. Just because I added that 4th leg, it's just easier math if I stay at 3 legs because I know that around a 3 leg, it's only 3 2 legs. So I know that that's a total of 4 plays. So any amount of money I want to spend, it's easier for me to just divide it by 4 and I can cover all my grounds. So there's that. Now let's get into this nitty gritty. I specifically came to doing. Now, what I was telling y'all was about doing. You can, and you know what? I don't know why I never did this. I'm just so frustrated that we don't get player props in Ohio. I just gave up on college, period. Fuck all that. You can research over unders, team props, all that, spreads, everything off of doing. Now, that's what I'm gonna look at. I'm not looking at no player props. I can't get them. I'm not looking at them. I'm gonna look at over under team props and size and see if it's any of those spreads or any of that shit that we see. It's 5 games on I see today. 7, 10, 10, 10, and then this start tomorrow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you got doing, and I'm gonna show you how you can use this to find those. If anybody been around me long enough or been in my Discord, one of my favorite props that I was super good at is team totals in baseball. All of that shit used to be off doing. How I do it is same in Florida College. Yeah. Bruh, we had it. We had it in Ohio. The first year that we went legal, we had it. And then one day I woke up and I'm on that motherfucker trying to do something, and then I noticed it was gone. I'm like, damn. And then they talking about that's our governor or some shit like that. Right? So 49ers at Bulls, right? I think this that game we were just talking about with this big ass spread. Plus 28.5. which we all understand now. For Charlotte to be plus 28.5, just lose by 27 or less, 28 or less. USF, they got to, what is that, Florida? They got to win by 29 points today, or they don't cover the spread. They win the game, they don't cover the spread. You got your over-unders, all that. Whoop-de-whoop. How do you see this? So if you go to over-under, this is your totals, right? I'm going to go to this season alone. I'm going to show y'all how you can use Doink for game totals, team totals, spreads, can be researched. Y'all know I'm big on data. If I can't research it, I'm not going to cap it. It's just that simple. Boom. Charlotte game totals this season. Remember, this is just like yesterday when we was looking at the player props. That's why it's no different. All I'm looking at is averages. I'm looking at averages, right? So when it comes to game total, this is both teams combined. I'm assuming the game total is 54.5 on No Vig, right? 55 on Caesar, or 54.5. Some might give you that 5-point wiggle room. Whenever you see an over-under like this, y'all, where it's just a whole number, 55 will be a push. Most books don't do the whole number because they ain't trying to push shit. You gonna win or you gonna lose. But Bet365 and Caesar giving you 55. So if it landed on exactly 55, it's a void. Most ain't gonna do that. They gonna somehow find a way to 0.5 that bitch. Notice that No Vig is 54.5. They're not doing no pushes. They're gonna go under 54 or they're gonna go over 54. So win or lose, it ain't gonna be no pushing. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that's beneficial to you if you got a push option? You don't see it often. But the game total is 55. 54.5, 55 is all the same damn thing, right? You can see. So what this is telling you is like points. Let's look at Charlotte. Out of their 4 games this season, they're averaging 48 points. Why is it red? Because the average is lower than the total today. South Florida is averaging 53 points. And this is why I love averages, because they had a 77-point game. And this is what both teams combined. Last game, 61. But they also had a 34 and a 41. So these like out-of-body games ain't gonna like alter what you seeing, because it's gonna still find a way to balance itself out. So they saying, okay, the bad games and the good games, we still around 53. So that 0.5 a motherfucker on God it is, bro. So what that's telling you is both teams, from what I'm looking at, is averaging less than the total today. Do that mean it will go under 54.5? It does not. But the stats say both teams are averaging in their games less than 54.5 today. If you want to even be like more, give yourself that wiggle room, how we look for bright greens, I'm also looking for bright reds when I'm looking at unders. The first quarter total today is 13.5 points. Charlotte averaging 8 points, and not Charlotte games. I'm not on team props. I'm on game props. So the games that Charlotte has been in this season, those games have averaged 8 points. It's bright red. It's a brighter red than this because this difference is further from this line than 48 is from 55. So this one got a bright one. What I do like is both first quarters got bright ones. 13.5, they games are only averaging 9 points in the first quarter, as in South Florida games, the 4 games they played so far. So if you like an under person, this first quarter is a under I like a lot, because not only are they both under it, but they both bright red under it, meaning that it's a big difference in the line and what they're averaging. What up, Creo? So you can look at those. And if you want overs, this is the time. Now, y'all know with player props, I don't really care about it. With main lines, over unders, team total spreads, I do look for the 2 teams to be have matching greens or matching reds. Like this fourth quarter, first half. First half, 21 average in Charlotte games, which is under the 30 total line. Also over this side, South Florida, 24. So both teams are bright red again for first half total in today's game, because both are averaging way under that 29.5 points first half. So these are good unders. Whether you go first quarter, first half, it's good unders in this game. You can go to team props. This is what I'll be using for baseball. The same thing. So look, this season. So the top ones start with Charlotte. Charlotte is averaging 18 points. This is how I got that 49ers 16.5 game total yesterday, and they had that shit in the first half. Charlotte is averaging 18 points per game this season. Their team. Their line is 13.5. South Florida is allowing 22 points in a game by their opponents. You see where I'm going there? The line is 13.5 for Charlotte team total today. They average at 18. South Florida allowed 22. You can look at the first half. Now, the first half, I wouldn't be more on because in the first half, they only averaging 6. Their first half line is 7. But I see it's favorited. Maybe that's because in every game so far this season, South Florida opponents have scored on average 13 points in the first half. I don't know. But for me to make it easier, for me, when it comes to like main lines, I like the team total more, seeing that they average more than their team total, damn near bright green. The defense is giving up more than that. This is how it looked yesterday with the 49ers. The 49ers line was 16.5. I think they was averaging like 19.5 points. Rams was giving up 22 points to the other team. Both was green, so I ran their team total. And like I said, they line was 16.5 for the whole game. They ended the first half with 7. They cashed that in the first half. So, what's up, Con? Hey, man, you funny as hell, Con. You nigga said, I'm fed up with this shit, bro. Man. So that's a good prop. All we can go off of is these reads, right? All we can go off of is these reads. I'm just looking at, and you know what? I think I'm gonna play some of these today. I want to play something. So these college games might be the move for me, but I don't get the player props, but I can utilize this. A lot of people don't even know you can do this on Doink, where you can look at over-unders, team totals, and spreads. So Charlotte team total looked good today. I mean, I don't know what the pushback would be. Shit, they average 18, they line 14. They average 18 a game. The defense giving up 22 points a game. So, I mean, shit, I don't know what more you will want out of that for that to be like a good read. Will they do it? I say all the time. We don't know. We ain't them, but the read is there. Same for the other team. Now, look at this. This either a under or a fade. That's up to you to decide. South Florida team total today is 41.5. They're only averaging 32 points on the season as a team. Charlotte is only allowing 29 points. Both of those are way under that 41.5 team total. So, I don't know. Same for first half. South Florida line is 22 points in the first half. They haven't had 22 points all season yet in the first half with an 11-point average. Charlotte hasn't allowed 22 points in the first half, giving up an average of 16 points. So I'm matching green with greens, red with reds, depending on if I'm going over or under. Is this making sense to y'all? Like how I'm looking at this and how you can actually research this shit now on Doink. Well, not now, it's been like that, but you don't have to just blindly take over under totals no more. This go for every sport. You don't have to blindly take team totals. You don't quarter, half, full game. You don't have to blindly take spreads. You can research every single one of them things on Doink. A lot of people just so used to stopping here that they don't even realize that all of these is over here. This is all they usually doing, which is fine. That's what I'm usually doing. I can't take them in this. Now, sides, what sides? That's your spreads. Now, how do you read this? Boom. It's telling you the spread, right? Hold on. My bad. Hold on. We know the spread was 27.5. Why are Charlotte 27.5 plus? Because they're the underdogs. They about to go on that bitch and get their ass whooped. We just hope that they don't get their ass whooped too bad. Cool. Okay. Their spread is plus 27.5. If you take their spread, so this, remember, plus 23. What did that mean? They lost by 23, which y'all can see over here. But I don't want you to look at this. Fuck this total. I want you to understand the spread. If they was plus 23, they lost by 23 points. Plus 17, they lost by 17. Minus, remember, that's favorited. Minus 7, this game, they won by a touchdown, 7 points. Plus 11. Out of all their games this year so far, these 4 games, on average, plus 11. That means on average, they're losing by 11 points a game. First quarter, they're losing because it's plus, so we see that that's the underdog side. In a game, On average, they're losing by 11. First quarter, on average, they're losing by 5. Second quarter, on average, they lose in the second quarter in these games by 6. This is their full season. Now, this is it's not tricky, but this is what you pay attention to. Y'all know how we match, and this go for everything. Green with green, red with red. That is not how you do spreads. You want green to red, right? If they're green, that means that they're losing by less than, on average, they're losing by 11. Their spread is 27. It's green because the spread that they're losing by, on average, is lower than this. You want South Florida side, for this to make sense, to be red. Because if South Florida was green, that means that this number would have been more than minus 27. We don't want to go against the team that's covering the spread if you take in the plus side. So this is a good spread for Charlotte. They're losing by less than that 28 points they can't lose by. They only losing by 11 on average. But guess what? South Florida spread is 28. On average for the season, they're only beating teams by minus 10. They're only winning these games by 10 points outside of this last game. So the spread is 28 points. You got a team that's not losing by more than 11 on average. And then the other team that's favored to win by 28 only been beating teams on average by 10 points. So when you're looking at spreads, you want a green to red. If they both green, I wouldn't touch it. If this side, it don't matter which side, how I go. This side could have been red and this side could have been green. Just know that when you're looking at the spreads, you want a green to red. You want a green to a red matchup. You don't want double greens. You don't want double reds. You want one team that's not losing by or winning by more than what their line is and the other side to be red. Everything else, team props, over-unders, you want matching greens to matching greens. Matching reds to matching reds. Spreads, you don't want that. You want one side to be green, meaning that they're doing more or less than what their line is, which is a good thing. And then you want the other side to not be doing it. So in this case, this looks like, from looking at the data, Charlotte should cover 27.5 tonight. They're only losing by 11 points on average, and South Florida is only winning by 10 points on average, which is hell of a lot, way far from 28 points. Y'all only on average winning by 28, and 10, but you got to win a day by 29 points or 28 points, whereas Charlotte been losing. You can see they done lost 3 to 4 games, but they're not losing by that much. Somehow, some way, they stand in these games, and on average, they only losing by a little over a touchdown and a field goal. Do that make sense as far as how you looking at this? So if the favorite team is plus in the spread, oh, hey, I ain't never even thought about that. You might be on to something. I never even thought about that. What you just did. I like how you did that, though. I see how you're reading the board. I never even thought about that. That's crazy. Never thought about that. But do that make sense, y'all? Talk to me, because it only, like, do that make sense as far as what I'm saying on the spread part? That you want one side to be green, one side to be red, and clearly the side that's green is the side you want to take. Whether that be the minus or the plus side of the spread. Don't matter. Whether they're the favorite or the underdog side. Whatever side is green, take that side if the other side is red. Right? Okay. And then team totals, like I said, I showed y'all that. So that I literally just went through that game and just showed y'all some of the places that we can kind of target for the night in these games. Now let's go back to over under, and let's go to this second game. I'm gonna do it in all 5 games. So if it didn't like register, there's no way it won't by us doing 5 games of that shit. Take the spread each quarter for that game. Hey, that'll probably be what's the name? You said teach hedging too. Hedging, I think I'm gonna make a specific video for that, because most people don't even round rock, let alone they're gonna go hedge. So I'm gonna make a YouTube video for that. I'm glad you said that. I just wrote that down too. I'm gonna make a YouTube video for that, for the ones who want to know what that how to hedge and what exactly it is. Because most don't even round robin. So that right there alone tell you that they're not trying to figure out a way to secure a win, even if everything lose. So plus 10-10. And that was taking Charlotte to cover their spread every way. Hold on. I wonder if this feature still work on here. Let me see something. You can't add them to the bet slip no more? I'm gonna ask someone. Maybe you just can't do it with these props. They do? Like maybe you can't do it with like totals? How the fuck you do it now? That shit damn shit. Let me see something. What am I doing wrong? Track. Oh, it say fucking track bet in my face. All right, hold on. I want to see if it still do what 27. But this one don't say track bet. Maybe you can't do it no more with totals. Line movement on this motherfucker. They got all kinds of shit. All right, let's go to this next game. Let's get to these games. All right, start with over under. All I care about is this season. All right. So the game total for this game, which is the Hilltoppers, what kind of name is that? And the Blue Hens. What the fuck? Yeah, silly. Oh yeah, yeah. My bad. God damn. Play that fuck up. I ain't see that big ass track bet right there. You know this is the new Doink 2.0. All right, so these names is wow. Where the fuck are these people from? Western Kentucky Hilltoppers? That's what they call themselves? And the Delaware Blue Hen. Names is crazy. Okay, so again, um, let's start with totals. Let's start with the game total. And look, y'all, every quarter, first half, I want to say second half, probably around it. Matter of fact, take this shit off. It won't let me. All right. You got second half, so it don't matter. You ain't got to guess no more, y'all. You don't have to guess. This shit is right here at your disposal. So, let's start with the game total. We see that the game total is 61 and a half, right? Game total. Out of 5 games this season, Western Kentucky is averaging 58 points. Matter of fact, fuck all that. I ain't gonna sit here and read all of them. Where do we see matching red? Bright reds. It's gonna be bright reds or greens. If it's gonna be bright red, because I'm afraid of unders, that bitch gotta be bright red. I need it to be far under. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. You see the stare pattern? Oh yeah, right here. Look at you. Noticing shit like that. So total right here, I don't see nothing that's matching I like. Like I said, it's just a thing with me, y'all. It is matching shit right here. Like this match, the fourth quarter total, that match. I am scared of unders. So for under the match for me, it gotta be it gotta be bright red. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. Let's go to team totals. Let's see what we can get in here. Okay, so not a damn thing for Western Kentucky. I see that they averaging over their lines, but I'm also seeing that Delaware defense ain't giving it up. No, it ain't gonna work. Team total. None here. Okay. 25-25. Now, see, look, this is what I was talking about right here. Minus 12, which is good. Hold up. How would y'all read this? How would y'all read this, y'all? I want to see if I'm tripping. Who is this nigga? Western Kentucky is the underdog, right? Walk with me. They're the underdog today at plus 2.5, meaning they can't lose by 3. On average, they're winning by 12. This season, they're winning by 12 points. Is this a upset? Like, what do y'all see when you see that? They're the underdog at plus 2.5, but on average, they're winning by 12. What are you like? What would you? How are you reading that? Would you just play it safe and just take their plus 2.5, or would you go for the upset? What is the which is plus 127? Or would you just take the plus 2.5 at no vig if they winning their games by 12, but they the underdog today? Who did they play? These teams, whoever these play, and you definitely can use filters. You can do filters by the game totals of them games, all kinds of shit. But they done played. Who the fuck is this? Sam Houston. Oh shit. You can't just hover over these names. So they lost to somebody by 24, but outside of that, they got some games where they doing their thing. But guess what? I wouldn't take the spread for the simple fact both sides green. They cover their spread on average. They cover their spread. They winning by 5. They winning by 5, and they got to win by 3. They've been winning by 12 on average, and they can't lose by 3. So the double greens. If it was anything that I would take, it would be the first quarter spread. Am I going to take that? Hell no, not at no minus 166. But notice, they can't lose the first quarter by 2. Well, they've been losing the first quarters by less than 1 point, and so have Delaware. Delaware need to win by 2 in the first quarter. On average, in the first quarters, they've been losing by 2. So you see where we got that green to red when it comes to spread? That would be the only thing that I would touch would be, of course, the green side. It's just too juice for me. Minus 166 is insane. I'm not touching that. Spread teaser. Yeah, I was about to say I don't know. I'm lying. I know about them. That's one thing I probably ain't never touched. It's a teaser. Competition. Oh, it definitely matters. It definitely matters. That's why I'm saying you can use these filters you can filter by game totals, like the over unders on them teams. You can where's the he's right here. Fuck the win losses. I thought you could see the spreads in them games. You can see what the spread like game totals you can see. Maybe you don't got them all because I see more over here. You can filter it by game totals if you want to try to stay within the same range of like who they playing or the competition, right? You can do those as well for sure. But filter by spread, right? See, like, but what's the spread? I wish I knew what the spreads was in these games. So you can even look at it like this, y'all. Look, we know the spread is 3, right? So you can say only show games of less than 4-point spreads, which they don't have not one this year. What about over here? Only show me the games where they play somebody closer to them like this game. A 2.5 spread is 2 close teams. So let's say less than 4. So neither one of them has played like a close game. They both are playing games where they either super better or super worse. But it used to say it on here, and I feel like over under the margin. They used to have this. I'm gonna ask them, where the fuck is the spread? They used to have a spread from every game, the closing line. You could do it that way too. Green to red in order of the spread was a bar. I gave up on college for real because them kids too emotional. Man, it's not easy. It ain't easy at all. So it's not easy at all because you ain't lying. But I also it's another side of that too, where I feel like I get the best competition out of that shit too. Have y'all ever seen this too? ATS record against the spread. So a lot of people like judging off that. So whoever this team is, the Lobos, they perfect against the spread. Don't matter what the spread is, they 3-0. Whether they was favorited, underdog, against the spread record, 3-0. Meaning no matter what the spread was, whether they was the favorite side or the underdog side, they have covered their spread every game this season. At home, 1-0. On the road, 2-0. When they was favorited, 1-0. When they couldn't lose by a certain number, they didn't. 2-0. I know people who like to go off the ATS spread as well. I mean the ATS record, against the spread record, and they breaking it down. Total home away when they was favorited with the negative side of the spread, when they was the plus side, and they had to either upset or not lose by more than that number. They're undefeated so far in 3 games. The other team, they 1-1. When they was at home, they didn't cover their spread. No matter what side of the spread they was on, the favorite or the underdog. On the road, they covered. When they was favorited, they didn't cover. When they was underdogs, they covered. So I know people, a lot of people, who go off the ATS record too. They like to see people that actually are aware of the spread. You got teams, we all know that. Just like point shit, we know that these niggas be knowing. Yeah, they know what the spread is. Y'all done seen all kind of weird shit that'll make a spread not cash at the end of a game. So ATS for NFL, and it's been helping. ATS definitely helps. Hell yeah. If you don't want to just sit there and just go individually off of looking at it, that shit help like a motherfucker. Especially the more they're in tune more than you think they are of what their spreads is in their games. Some be a pride. You know, some people go out there, go against O State, the spread is 30, you know, and they might be like, nigga, god damn, okay, well, we get it that they might win, but you got us getting smoked like that. So it'd be like a conscious thing to them. Like, we ain't losing by no 30 points. A lot of teams, more often than not, they're very aware of what those spreads be, especially the motherfuckers who be gambling on the low. You better know they know the spreads. That Western Kentucky, Delaware, it wasn't nothing. If anything, I would have took the first quarter spread for Western Kentucky to cover that. But like I said, it was like minus 166. Nothing else had matching greens or reds. So it wasn't really nothing in there. I liked it. All right. Okay, we got a matching green here on this second quarter total. New Mexico is averaging 17 points. The line is 16 and a half. Second quarter points for both teams combined. Both averaging 17, the line 16 and a half. The line is 17. They both averaging 17 points total in both of their 4 games they both have played this season. So in New Mexico games, on average, it untouched 17 points in the second quarter alone. And same for San Jose State. So that's a matching green there. Here's a under third quarter. The line is 13 and a half. On average, New Mexico games have only been at 8 points on average. Same for San Jose. Their games, 8-point average. So the third quarter got the bright red matching. So that can be an under. And the underside is the side that they favored in it to go over. So that underside got some value there too. They do see the. I don't know the difference. Spread is made by that. Power rankings, home away. That's how spread is made. If you go look at the equation of how they make the spread, remember I told y'all the spread ain't nothing but a way in the gambling world to make 2 lopsided teams even on an even playing field. If all we had was money lines, especially if you're trying to take the favorite side, we just seen a minus 4,500. You wouldn't make no money. So based off power rankings, home away, all of those different situations, that all go into an equation, and that's how they figure out the point difference between 2 lopsided teams. The lower the spread, the closer those 2 teams are. The worse they are. So the spread don't make the power ranking. The power rankings make the spread. And it's a difference. Even though I'm saying the same thing back, it's a difference. It's a total difference which one make which. So, but the easiest way to remember that, fuck the equation, is just remember the closer the spread, the more closer the 2 teams are in production. And the further the spread, the more lopsided it get, where one is way better than the other. So that's a way of making it an even playing field in the gambling world. It's coming up with spreads and finding out a middle to both teams' production that one can go over or one can go under. That's like even to make us be able to bet. Because like I said, like Kansas City, you know, in them championship runs, you probably, if it wasn't no such thing as spreads or like totals, but totals don't got nothing to do with the teams individually, you could have bet the Kansas City to win every game, and you still ain't gonna make no money because of their money lines be so crazy. You can't make no money because the matchup's so lopsided off money line. So the spread is where people was banking on them. Even though, fun fact, I learned from ATS that Kansas City Chiefs was one of the worst teams these last couple years. What their ATS record? They win all the time. They lose. They don't cover their spread all the time. They win the game, but they never cover their spreads. That should be crazy. San Jose by 1-13 is plus 195. That's another prop you can use this too. That's crazy. You said the first 2 quarters can go over the total. I said the second, looking at this, just look right here. The second quarter got the matching greens. The third quarter got the matching bright reds. So if I was taking anything in here, if I'm going to take the over for the game total, this is game. Over under is the game total, both teams combined. I would take the over 16 and a half in the second quarter, because you still got the half props too. This is just specific quarters. And if I was going to take an under, I probably would take the under on this third quarter, seeing that both team averaging less than 14 points in the third quarters of their games. They are. I'm telling you. It's so. That's why I say if you learn how to read lines, it'll kind of navigate you right. Because if you a person who be in the spreads like I am, and I know them, A lot of spreads, whether it cover or it don't. I'm talking about that bitch be right there. Same for totals. It be right there. But they got so many years of data and billion dollar algorithms. They know what they doing. Like I say, it's not a coincidence that they win more than the better. It's not a coincidence. But if you pay attention to spreads and totals, them motherfuckers be so close every time, whether it hit or it don't, in favor of what you bet. The shit be there every time. Now team props is your team totals. So New Mexico is averaging, their line is 28.5. They're averaging 31 points this season a game. San Jose only allowing 28. New Mexico is averaging 13 points in the first half this season. San Jose is giving up 17 points, which is bright green. So how you want to do that? The average is lower, I get it. But you also can look at it like this is bright green. So they're giving up way more. They only averaging 0.5 less than a line. And if it's bright green, you got a nice little difference in there. So them giving up 17, I see that the books do have New Mexico covering 13.5 at minus 140. There's some juice on there. Always, bro. That spreads. If you like sweating, play spreads. That's the spreads gonna be a sweat more often than not. San Jose, their line is 30.5. They're only averaging 20 points a game this season. New Mexico is only allowing 21.5 points per season. Both bright red because they both is way under the line. And the books have it favored. It's a slight favorite, but it's favored to go under 30.5 for San Jose. So seeing that the books has it favored, and you know they're averaging lower and the defense is allowing lower, San Jose State team total might be an underplay today. If that's something that you like. From the read itself, it's telling you, you know, that both teams are under that average. And the books has it at minus 113. It's minus 110 or minus 113. So it's close, but the favorite side is leaning more towards San Jose not covering 30.5 points tonight. Oh, yeah, you know it's going up for you. Only have first half and first quarter. Only have first half and first quarter. Oh, they don't got the second and thirds. What was those lines at? Let me see. And that's why I keep all my books. Make sure when you come on here, if you on doing, you come on here, you check every book that you got so that you know where you need to be going. And first, you're right. Look, FanDuel. That's a FanDuel play. Third quarter, FanDuel play. So that's why I always stress to y'all, make sure you got all them books. So you can line shop and get around because some books going to have some markets that others don't. Some going to have better odds than others. So if anything, it is an underplay on this San Jose State team total on that 30.5. All right, here we go, y'all. Look, New Mexico. So remember, they got the 2.5 spread plus 2.5. So New Mexico can't lose by 3 or upset. And San Jose got to win by 3 minus 2.5. They got to win today by 3 or, well, no, ain't no other way. They the favorite side. They got to win by 3. This is one of the ones, y'all, we were just talking about. You want a green to a red. New Mexico can't lose by 3. On average, they're winning by 9. San Jose got to win by 3. On average, they're losing by 8. So for me, I like New Mexico, and it's at plus money. I like New Mexico to cover 2.5 points today, based on looking at what they've done production-wise this season so far. They averaging a 9-point win. They've won by 9 points on average out of these 4 games. San Jose is losing by 8 points on average. So for you to be losing by 8 and you got to win this game by 3, and then this team can't lose by 3, but they've been winning by 9, I like New Mexico spread at plus 2.5 based on this. And am I tripping, y'all? But hold on, let me go back. Now that I see that make this even better. Remember, New Mexico is the team that's 3-0 against the spread. Whether they're the favorite or look, when they're the underdog, 2-0. So that go hand in hand. I can actually look at it myself and research and see that I got the green on their side with the red on the other one, which is good for the green side. So the numbers say that. But then also on the game overview, y'all, anytime against the spread record, it's 3-0. Right? So that's like a hand in hand. So I love this New Mexico to cover 2.5 to not lose by 3 points tonight. at plus 108 on no vig. Love that. That's going hand in hand with their against the spread record. And like I said, when you manually go in there and look at it yourself and just look like, okay, this is 2025 -9. Remember, the minus mean that they're winning by more than that. So they're winning by 9 on average, can't lose by 3. San Jose got to win by 3, and they've been losing +8. So they've been losing by 8 on average. So I love this New Mexico spread. I got to make sure I remember that to put that in when I get off stream. I love this New Mexico spread today to cover 3 points, and it's at plus money on no vig, which is even better. We move. All right, let's start with the over under for the game, which is the game total, whatever the total is this season. So you got a few green spots on this motherfucker. The game total is 46.5. West Virginia's games have been averaging 49 points total. BYU games have been averaging 48. Both is over this 46.5, which is plus money on no vig. So the over look like a play. Both teams' games have been averaging over 46.5, and they giving it to you at plus money. You also got the third quarter and the fourth quarter. West Virginia games in the third quarter is averaging 13 points. The line is 10. BYU games is averaging 10 points. So both teams' games are averaging more than the total for the third quarter today and the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is 10.5. West Virginia games have been averaging 14 points in the fourth. BYU games have been averaging 12 points in the fourth. So whether you go the game total at 46.5, or you take the individual third quarter or fourth quarter, which is all FanDuel lines, those are good reads based on the production of these two teams when they're in games. And the good thing, remember, over under is the game, both teams combined. Team prop is just that specific team lines. So over under is the game totals for both teams combined. First quarter, you got matching greens, meaning they both averaging more than that line. And they're both averaging more than this 9.5 in the third quarter. And they're both averaging more than the 10.5 game total in the fourth quarter. So you got 3 different options you can go with on that far as game total. Game totals, because you got the full game, third quarter total, and the fourth quarter total. Now, team props, that's just, now this is specifically that team. West Virginia line is 13.5. They're averaging 22 points per game as a team. BYU is only allowing 9 points per game. Again, when I'm looking at over, under, or team props, I'm looking for matching greens or matching reds. The only matching green and matching red I'm seeing is West Virginia in the first half. They're only averaging 5 points in the first half. BYU is only giving up 4 points in the first half. So if I'm unders better, if I like unders, and it's at plus money, I like this under 6.5 for West Virginia in the first half at plus 110 based off the data of seeing that both teams' averages are under that line. I'm scared of them. Same here. Ain't no matches, so it's nothing for me to look at. I see what they're averaging for the game for the first half, but I also see that this defense is a little better, and they're not allowing that. So, these are things that I'm probably I would stay away from. Sides is the only one where I'm looking for a red to go with a green. Everything else, me personally, I need matching. The one I do see out the gate is first quarter. The line is West Virginia can't lose by 7 in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, West Virginia plus 6.5. They can't be losing by 7 points. And that's the opposite for BYU. They need to be winning by a touchdown. Well, West Virginia, on average in the first quarter, only losing by 2 points. BYU is only winning by 2 points. So they're not, BYU on average, not covering that 7-point first quarter spread. West Virginia on average, not losing by that 7-point spread. That's a green against a red in the same prop. So I like, from what I was seeing, what was it? West Virginia is what? Oh, no. I like the over under. I like the over for the game. I like the over for the third quarter. I like the over for the fourth quarter. And then if I want to go the spread route, I like West Virginia to cover 2.5. I mean, 6.5 in the first quarter. Yeah, I think home is on the left. I think home on the left. Yeah. If you put the away filter on, and then if you put the home filter on, there you go, right here. Now, if you look at it from this point with the home, they went in by 10. They went in by 46 and a half at what's this? Oh, on the game. On the game. They oh, this is the spread for the whole game. Okay. 19 and a half. So if you put it on that, but that's all up to you. If 2 games worth of data is enough for you to feel like you got an accurate read on the average. But you could definitely do that too. You could do these home aways. Um, you could do these. By being the beginning of the season, you just got it's just so much less data. Let me see. Same here. So you could do those same. You could do those same things when you look at these home and aways. You definitely could do those for sure. Yeah, 2 games. Now, y'all know how I am. Y'all see, I ain't even start football till week 4. I needed 3 games at minimum because I know you're gonna have games like this, like where you have super outlier performances, and then you will get back in your body. Now that third game will decide to me which way do it go. Is it more around 30 or is it more around 69? The average gonna make it make sense to where it's like, no, they really like that, or that 69-point game was kind of crazy. They more along the lines of 30, 35-ish range. You know what I'm saying? It'll definitely help me with that average. That's the only reason why I'm doing it for y'all because y'all asking. But I knew that it was gonna be like a 1 or 2 game sample size. If they only 4 or 5 games into the season, I knew it was gonna be a small sample size. That's why I didn't do home and away. But yeah, that make it definitely look different when you came to what was it, sides? If you go home away, it definitely make it look different. It look like BYU been smoking shit at the crib. Oh, and speaking of that, whoever that was, my bad. BYU is home. It said right here. So the right team. Oh, it say at. So the right team is the home and away. And then last but not least, we got one more right here. Let's go over under. See, let's see. Let me see something. And then go away. Yeah, see, look, they only got 1 game on the road. And then they got 2, so it's just harder to gauge. Third quarter, and they both bright. The line only 7.5. Third quarter game total. Colorado State averaging 11 in their games in the third quarter, and San Diego State third quarter this season so far is averaging 10. So you got 11, 10, and the line is 7.5. So as a total, the only total I see that I like, you can do first quarter too if you want, but this brighter green gonna always catch my attention. This 7.5 third quarter total, I like it. I'm gonna try these. I'm gonna try a quarter total later today. Should blow them out. So I like this third quarter 7.5 game total. Team props. Why don't they just stay on this? I'm seeing unders from just looking at these averages. I'm looking at unders. I see red, 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 red. So as far as Colorado State, like they line is 17.5, which the books got favored going under. And I can see why. They only averaging 15. San Diego State is only giving up 10 points per game. First half, Colorado State is favored to go under. They line is 7.5. They only averaging 5. San Diego State only giving up 6, which both is under that 7.5. That's why they both red. As far as them. This season. See, this more this one is lopsided, but again, I don't see the matches. Like San Diego State is covering their line at 23.5. But then it's showing that Colorado State is giving up. But this another one like that other one, y'all. 23 they giving up in the line 23.5. It's literally like 1 point, which matters. I'm not saying it like that. Oh, that 0.5 be cooking shit, but I'm saying it's like 1 point. If that 1 point ain't enough for you to be like, man, they still even them. They only averaging 0.5 more. They line 23.5. They averaging 24. Same with the first half totals, team total. San Diego State averaging 11. They line 12. But then you got Colorado State giving up 14 points in the first half. So, like, how do you go with that? I tell you what I do. Well, I ain't got to guess. Neither. That's what I'm doing. You missed the first game. What was the read for the 49ers game? I don't even remember. Oh, spread. Charlotte to cover their spread. I'm like 49ers. That was last night. To cover their spread today. And a team total. So here you go again, y'all. You looking for a green to a red. And I'm glad it happened like that too, because this is the first time now that the green is on this side, which it doesn't matter as long as one side red. 6.5 spread. Colorado State is the underdog. They just can't lose by a touchdown. They can lose by 6 or less or upset. They on average so far have been losing by 8. So they're losing by more than what the spread is today. On the reverse side, San Diego State got to win by a touchdown. They've been winning by 2 touchdowns, 14 points. So you got that green to red. You also got that green to red in the first quarter. You also got that green to red in the second quarter, where they're covering San Diego. Is they good or something? What's their records? Oh, they are. Damn, I ain't see this. So San Diego State is in a good position for the spread for the game, for the first quarter where they covering their spread and they're not. The second quarter, they're covering their spread and they're not. So you got game, first quarter, second quarter, where San Diego State is in a good spot from the read to cover their spreads. That might be a nice little parlay. I seen somebody saying that they be stacking them bitches. They finna get smoked like a Newport. Who is? Right there. My code is the same on anything you ever see me on. I keep it super simple. Hell yeah, it can work in your favor. Yeah, you can do that. I've made plenty of money, especially in baseball. I do that all the time, and with team totals. Like if you come here, so look, so you can test the water. So it's like seeing that they're on average, right? On average, that they winning by 14. Shit, you get to come around this motherfucker and get to looking at these spreads. Look, even if you went up to the 14 that they usually winning by, that's plus 210. So guess what? That go to like when we was doing yesterday. I'm glad you asked that. You know how when I was showing y'all how I find value in football and basketball off doink, when I'm looking for bright green spots on the defense, the same thing apply. If whether that be team total, over, under, sides, if you get those bright green spots, that means that the average is way higher than the line. All you got to do is click on it and you get to coming through here. You got all that wiggle room in between the line and that bright green average to be able to play with some alt lines. That's exactly, hell yeah, you can find alt line. You can do it with, I want to say, like totals. So like, look, let's say Colorado State right here, right? This third quarter game total. This is a game total. They averaging 11 points in their games. Their games averaging 10. The line's 7.5. Shit, why not come in here? Oh, it ain't no alt lines. But look, why not come in here and see if you could have got an alt line on this? What did we have a? I'm only doing this. I'm not going through this game. I'm trying to see something. I needed to be like a crazy game total. So like even then, like say this right here. I wish this game total was high, but say both sides was like in the 70s, bright green. Shit, why not come through this game total and come up in here and you know you got wiggle room all the way up to 70 and get to finding some of these alt totals at good value. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Anywhere that you feel like you see a bright green spot, meaning that the average is way higher. I mean, the difference between that average and the line, everything in between there, if if you can find some value, it's good for alt lines. I do that all the time with like shit like this. I'm not going through this slate, but like this is what I be doing. Team totals. You could just probably do like last 5, and then you could do what Peralta last 5, so they know the picture. So in games like this, I can look on here and I can see. So like Chicago versus righties. They last 5 games, they averaging 3 team totals. I would see some shit over here, but say it said like with Peralta, this shit was like a bright green 7. When he pitched, he giving up 7 runs. Guess what I would have did? They line 4. I would have came in here and looked at all the lines up to the 7 that Peralta give up and seen if I could have found some value. I find value in everything if you got an alt line. That's why I love that I can just come on here and I can look straight at bright green. All I care about is bright green, which tells me out the gate that I got a good spot. What if I go to? Oh, and speaking of that too, though, y'all, for football, This how I be making them. Look, you see this full game? You can go find first quarter props, second quarter props, first half props, second half props, and this is player props. So you don't even have to just be on full game. You can go to any of that shit. And you could this how people be making well, I think. I know this how I make my first quarter lays. I can see your full game stats, but the same thing apply where I can see what the defense giving up in the offense and all that to every quarter I want. All right, this the finals? Oh yeah, I'm on the same website. All right, out the gate. Out the motherfucking gate. This is why I'll be telling y'all like until I see how prop. I don't know how it's gonna go for NFL. I mean NBA. This is what I've always used. All the OGs know that going back a year and a half now. This is strictly why. Outside of baseball, for basketball, NBA and WNBA, hockey, football, I only go off of being a value hunter and a value better. I don't care about what the offensive player do. Only baseball I care about that because it matter. I need to know your barrels and batting averages. I don't care about none of that. I only target bad defense. Simple. I only target bad defense. So for basketball, hockey, football, I always was on here because I can see it. And I know when I got a good spot for value when the average is bright green. When this is bright green, it's well over the line today. That's the only thing that decides the color coding on doing based on that player's line today. And why this line can't be 10 because that's 285. Maybe it is. I don't know. If the closer that the average is to the line, the darker the green. Once the average go under their line, it go red. The further away it go brighter red. So you got red, bright red, green, bright green, right? All I'm looking for in any sport is bright green spots that the defense allowed to a certain position. That's it. So out the gate, I don't know who. And again, if you're a person who go off trends, you probably not gonna take this 10 points at plus 285. Why? Because you're gonna look at her points and be like, well, she haven't had 10 points in the last 5 games, or oh shit, she ain't scored 10 points in the last 10 games, which is fine. You could approach it that way. I don't give a damn about none of that. What I see is they're giving up 16 points to point guards. So you better believe it's 10 at plus 285 and 15 if an alt line drop, that's gonna be around plus 700-800. Those are getting laddered because the 10 and the 15 is still under the average allowed. That's how I got into and that's how I approach every sport, every slate. I only look for value spots and it's so easy to find because I'm only looking at defensive weaknesses. And 9 times out of 10, it worked in my favor because I'm always hoping that the person haven't done it in a while or ever. Because if they have, it would have been into the lines. If she would have had 10 points, which her line is, right? If she would have scored 10 points, 3 out of her last 5, 7 out of her last 10. Well, guess what 10 points would have been? Minus 130. It wouldn't have been plus 285. So I like when I can find a person who ain't did something, but they in a good spot today to exploit a weakness. That's the only way you're going to get the value out of them. New Mex plus 2.5 on spread. Yeah, they got to be terrible. Like, what the fuck? So, guess what? I don't even know who this girl is. You're getting ran today. It's just that simple. And it's the same. Like, look, all I'm caring about is these bright green spots. Now, if you want to do it like we just did the college football, if you want to make a parlay of just their lines, just match greens. When you're looking for value and alts, look for bright greens. I can't simplify that more. For instance, Kalia Cooper, right? Her three-pointer, her line is 1.5. She's green because she's averaging 2. She's averaging over the line, right? 2 out of 5. Las Vegas is giving up 3 threes. So since both of those is green in that same prop, I like your 1.5 line. I like that line. I like your line of 1.5 threes today. You averaging more than that. They're allowing more than that. Double greens, I love the lines. I usually swap the player and see what PG is green to match the defensive side. I usually swap the player and see what PG is green to match the defensive side. Oh, you just go through them and see where you got. Oh, I got what you're doing. Oh, so you do this. Okay, I got you. So you doing like this. until you see if they would have had a line. Let me see if I can find another one. I see what you're talking about. You doing that until you make it turn green. Got you. Okay, I see what you're doing. Hold on, who was that girl and what the fuck? Why is she not on here? Okay, so I like Kalia Cooper 2 threes tonight. She averaging more than that two, or she's averaging two. They're giving up three. Cool. More importantly for me, I think y'all already know where I'm about to go. What do I see? I see a bright green points. I see bright green points. I see that they're giving up 22 points to shooting guards. Oh, that was her up here. No, it wasn't. She was a point guard. So why the fuck? So why is she not up here then? Who is? Is she a point guard? Who is Sammy Wickham, y'all? I think she hurt. Oh, maybe I don't know. But like, I'm wondering why she not on this starting thing. But anyway, let me know. I'm reading what y'all saying because if so, I need to go back to her. She got a line and some more shit. I'm noticing bright green for points. So I see 21 points. So guess what? Her line is 16 and a half. It's all, hey, she got a pattern, y'all. She go off, chill. Go off, chill. Her line is 16 and a half at plus money. Cool. I don't give a fuck what y'all got going on. So I already like the 16 and a half, which I think is obvious if I'm willing to go up. But guess where I'm going? I'm going to that 20 at plus 235 because they're giving up 22. So I found some value and I still didn't even go over the points that they're allowing. She starts. So why do they got Kalia Cooper here? Does she not start? Okay. All right. So look, we're going to put her here. So Sammy is the shooting guard, you saying? So even with Sammy, her line, what is her line? Her line is, hold on, what is her actual line? This can't be her. I know this not her line. What is her line? Is it 15? Line? No, I had it on 19 and a half alt line. That's her actual line? What's her points line? That's what I thought. It said 8 up there. See, this ain't up there. Okay, I see what this shit is still going off of. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm trying to see if I can reset it. I don't know why that's odd say that, but her line is 7.5 at the shooting guard spot. Can Sammy go out this bitch? I need to know this. Hold on, because I want to see something. I need to see this. Hold on. Sammy. Yeah, her line's 7.5, but hold up. Hold the fuck up. What did I have it on? Was it like this? This. Her line is 7.5. They're giving up that same 22 points. It's the same position. They're giving up 22 points. And I always used to reiterate this when I used to do these streams before. They've given up 22 points to the shooting guard, not a player, the position. So no matter who we put here, they're giving up 22 points to the shooting guard. I know this is not right. It's like they're going off of what's her name? Like, what the fuck? She irritating. Hold on. I'm about to tell y'all right now because I know that's not right. It's like they're going off Cooper shit still. Hold on. Player prop points. What is her name? Because hold on. This might be. Hey, yo. Look, listen to this, y'all. Her line's 7.5. What they giving up? 22? 10 points is plus 200 on BetMGM. 15 points is plus 825 on BetMGM. 20 points, if you want to go all the way up without going over the average, 20 points is plus 3,500 on DraftKings. For Sammy. And they're giving up 21 points to her position. If she plays shooting guard. Y'all said she plays shooting guard, so I'm just going off shooting guard. So yeah, I like the 3 line and 1.5. I love the alt lines for whoever at the shooting guard spot. Copper, Sammy, whoever gonna be here. I don't know, but I'll wait till official lineups confirm. Whoever gonna be here, if I can get some value out of them without going over 20 points, this 22, 20, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take that all line all the way up. Sammy come off the bench, so now I don't, man. What the fuck? 15 points on Caesar is 1100 for that Sammy chick. Oh yeah. Facts. So I like that. What did I say I liked on here? I like this Monique. She got a whole lot of names. So whoever she is, I'm fucking with her points right here and her alt lines. Excuse me. I'm fucking with whoever in. And remember, I'm not saying a person. I think a lot of y'all know I always used to say that it's not about a person. It's about a position. Whoever at the shooting guard spot, I'll put it like that, because you know that at the end of the day, they'll come out there and do some wacky shit. Basketball do it too, and they'll get to switching positions, and it'll throw people off like, oh shit, I liked it such and such. No, you liked it that position. These are what they're allowing shooting guards. So it don't matter if they decide to switch some shit up, move somebody around. All you focused on really is like who in that shooting guard spot that they getting cooked by, that they keep giving up, that they're giving up 21 points they last 5 games to. That's what you focused on, so it don't bother you. Another one. What the fuck, Sato? Whatever she is. I like her 2 threes line. She's at her threes line averages green. They're allowing green. It ain't. I don't see no alt line or no value I want here, but I do see matching greens on a certain prop that'll make me lean towards that actual line. She on star but play 27. Okay, so she one of them. Got you. Same thing. And I don't go off of the left side. I don't. Like, now what you can do is you can do something like this. Alyssa Thomas. She's a different breed, right? You can go about this 2 ways. Filters work in your favor. You can go off of her type of production or her shot selection. For me, I probably would go off field goals. Now notice something. 18 shots, 17 shots, 15 shots, 18 shots, 18 shots, which comes to an average of 17 shots a game. Now let's come over here where we see all this red. And oh my God, this defense is cooked. I mean, they're holding down power forwards. Oh shit, woo-de-woo. 5 shots. You're not on her level. You don't have the same usage. 6 shots. You don't have the same usage. 4 shots. You don't have the same usage. 6, 16. You closer, but 40s, you don't even have the same type of production that Alyssa Thomas have. So the way to get away from that, filter by field goal to tips. The lowest we see she got is 15. Don't show me shit less than a person shooting that bitch 15 times minimum. That changes everything. That changes everything. I can't wait till NBA come back because we'll go more into that. When I field goals, when you looking at points or you just trying to balance and want to see what that defense do against that. When you start going into threes and like 3-point ladders, this go for NBA when it come around too. Start making sure you filter by 3-point attempts. So if you got Curry and you may see a team that say, oh, they don't give up a lot of threes to the point guard. Well, 90% of the league don't shoot as many threes as Curry. So filter by 3-point attempts and say, I only want to see the people that's shooting more than, it'll tell you how many threes he averaging, and then everything be changing. Look at how this shit just changed. It went from this, oh shit, it looked like they just boxing power forwards. Hold on, let me see when y'all actually play against a power forward that put up shots. Now it's a different fucking story. You know what I'm saying? It's a different story. Now you giving up 20 points to her position. Her line is 16 and a half. She's averaging 20. When they play against, I'm going to put it like that. When they play against a power forward with 15 or more attempts, they're giving up 20. So you can either look at this line at 16 and a half, which look like good money, or go up to the 20 at plus 220, since that's what they're averaging. She averages 20. They're giving up 20 to power forwards who actually put up shots. Now you got 20 points at plus 220. It's all I be doing when I'm looking at that value shit. I'll look at it for you, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a fuck about a head-to-head. I don't care about that. I promise you I don't care about this shit. I don't care about a head-to-head last year, the year before, yesterday. I don't be caring. I don't be looking at none of this. I swear to God, I don't. Anybody tell that? I don't look at that shit. I swear. You could do the same thing with rebounds too. Look, bruh. She averaging, oh, you can't do it on here. See, I need NBA back. They be so limited. You can't get rebound chances on WNBA. Hell no. Y'all already know that rebound chance shit hit different. Because then you could, like, Filter this side by rebound chances, a person who always in position to rebound, that shit be changing shit. Potential assists, that shit changes a lot. But you don't have those props over here. They just give you the points, rebound, assists. You know, y'all know when NBA come back, we're gonna have points, rebound, rebound chances, assists, potential assists. You know, so I see they don't track it. No, not for this. I just looked in here. I don't see it in here. No rebound chances in here or potential assists. They so limited. But she said that he said they don't track them. So I do like Alyssa Thomas points. I do like her points. Natasha Mack, she don't got no line. You the center. Any other centers in here? Is this the finals, y'all? All right, Chelsea Gray out the gate. I see points. Um, Now again, look, you can also this work both ways. I'm noticing like the most shot attempts she got is 13. I just happen to graze over here and I see it's some 20 shot attempt, 16, 22 shot attempt point guards. So the same way we realized that they weren't defending people who shoot like Alyssa Thomas, I'm also noticing they're defending out of these last 5 games a point guard who way more used than you are. So you could do the same thing the opposite way. If you noticing her most shot attempts was 13, you can go by filter attempts and say, don't show me a person with more than 14 shot attempts. Now eliminate these high shooting point guards because that's not more so Chelsea's body these last couple. So now when you look at it like that, now, let me see. The lowest is 6 and 7. The lowest, oh, no, no, no. So look, this is another trick for y'all. Look, her lowest is 6. So we'll say like 7. And then her highest is 13. They just put a person over here that had 3 shot attempts. So the way you do that is use both. So more than 6, less than 13. Now you put it in the window. Don't show me nobody shooting those 3 times. That's disrespect to Chelsea. She damn sure shooting more than that. Now you putting yourself in her kind of usage. Now look at what you got here. So one thing I will notice is, guess what? The points still stay green on both sides. So I like her 10.5 points. I also noticed the threes still stay the same. And her 2 threes is plus money. She averaging 2 threes. They're giving up 2 threes. You can also do this, like I told y'all. Take this off. No, I'm going to leave that. And you can filter like this by 3-point attempts. She's shooting what? 1 to 7 threes. So somewhere around like 1 to 7. It's her like 3-point range. On average, she averaging 4. So, those same amounts fall into this same thing. No, 1 is... Okay, yeah. So that falls into the same thing and didn't change nothing. So I like Chelsea Gray's points line and her 3-point line today. Especially for me, value. I like the 3-point line better because the 3-point line was plus money. Plus 148 for 2 threes. Best game 1. So, yeah. Jackie Young. Just want to make sure that we kind of in the same ballpark. What she's shooting that hoe 10 to 20 shots. That's basically her range. Just want to make sure ain't nothing less than 10 and no more than 20. Try to stay in that range. Something changed because I see some reds, but her 17.5 stayed green. Again, the bright green on their side is not what's gonna make me take the alt line. I want the defense to be giving up a whole lot more than the line. So I do like Jackie Young's points. She averaging more than 17.5, which is her line. They're giving up 18, more than the line. Same for threes. She averaging 2. Now let's see. 5, 5, 3, 4, 11, 12, 8. So this is about the same shit. So yeah. So she's averaging 2 threes a game these last 5. They're giving up 3 threes these last 5. So and her 2 threes is minus 132. It's favored to go over. It's good for points and assists. So yeah, I like her points. I like her threes. If you a unders person, you got matching reds on rebounds. Her line is 6. She's averaging 5. They're giving up 4. They're giving up 5. Both under the line, and I see, damn, the line to go under is minus 162. So you got that there. So you got Jackie threes, points. If you like unders, you could take the under on rebounds. This WNBA, right? They got a nigga? Hold on. That's a girl? Oh, shit. They got Joanna Man out this bitch. What the fuck? I'm about to say, hold on. Am I on? Hold on. Now, I thought I done switched over to NBA on this bitch. I'm going to say, hold on. What the fuck? Hey, yo. I'm about to go report this shit. Hey, y'all, hey, it's a nigga out that bitch. Damn, she got a goddamn Boosie fade. Oh man, she a dog? 0.04030. No. All right. God damn. That just fucked me up. Waves on swim. Man, I thought that was a dude. That mug shot crazy. Now look, you already could tell we're gonna definitely have to filter field goal attempts. Aja a whole different breed. This motherfucker got 27 shots, 24. So a 6, nigga, please get off my average. Like that's disrespect. Get the she's shooting that shit in probably the first 2 minutes. Field goal attempts. So we're gonna say 18. What's her lowest? 18, highest 18 to 27. We gotta see centers that's doing this. Damn, we going back to last year. What the fuck? She actually very handsomely pretty. Well, that's a good way to put it. Well, goddamn. And I mean, that's what it that's what it looked like. It was a Boosie fade. So, all right, out the gate, let's see what we got here. I should be shooting 3. Yeah, I guess so. 1 and 1. Assists. She averaging 3 assists. Her line is 3. She's averaging 3 assists. They're giving up 3 assists. Her rebound, she's averaging 9. They're giving up 10. But I noticed this because I know somebody said it. I see she done got that rebound shit on them every time she played them. But that's neither here nor there. You could take it if that's something you into. I'm scared of that shit, but I'm gonna be watching it though. So either the 3 or the assists. They giving up 3 assists. She averaging 3 assists. She should cover that 3 line. Her line is 1-3. She's averaging 1-3. They're giving up 1-3. But then hold on, I want to see this. Hold up. I noticed something. She's shooting 2 threes max per game. Don't show me shit over a 3-point. Because I see a 3 and a 5 over here and an 8 centers that's shooting. No. Okay, so she's still averaging. They still giving up 1 out of 2, 50% from 3. But you see how that just took away? It was a person who had 8 3. What? Hold on. What center is shooting 8 threes? Who is this? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, they don't got her a center, power forward. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. A whole lot of sense. She out that bitch jacking. Baby Junior, man, oh God, she look like her. Alyssa Smith. Now let's see. Make sure we got these people in. You about 5 to 13 shots on a good day. 5 to 13. All right. Damn. A person shooting like that, they getting more rebounds. I know that damn much. So, what was the rebounds before I did that? 6. But then when I said, so the people who shoot, so the centers that shoot less than 13 times against them, rebound more. Y'all seen that? Let's see, 5 to 13. The ones who shoot less, the centers that shoot less against Phoenix, rebound more. I mean, look at her rebound. She averaging 8, but fuck what she averaging. They giving up 9 rebounds. So guess what? Gots to look. 8 rebounds tonight for Smith is plus 360. Good alt line. They giving up 9 to centers who shooting less than 13 shots. They give up 9. Shit, she averaging, if you care about her averages, she averaging 8 against them. So you got an alt line there as well. So she been hooping. So there you have it, man. I feel like we touched a lot of shit today. I'm glad we were able to do that, from Bankroll to round robins, into bust downs, into spreads, to college, and then we finished off with this one game. Again, no days off, even when it's days off. I'm glad that we able to get some shit done. I'm about to get this on YouTube for y'all. I'm gonna leave this one up. Well, all of them gonna stay up, but this gonna be a good point for the ones who missed it. Those teaching points that'll help you out. We back. Well, I won't be streaming tomorrow unless for some reason like my son come over super late or something like that. But either way, I'm gonna try to. I know it's the first day of the playoffs, so I will do the pre-record Sunday. You know, I ain't gonna leave y'all hanging like last Sunday. I will do the pre-record video of the full NBA NFL slate. So I have both videos up. If somehow, some way I can find time to stream tomorrow morning early, I will stream tomorrow. Sundays is a definite no-go. That's my off day to relax. I work out, chill with the family, get my house in order, shit like that. But play your straights, round robin your parlays, have some fun tonight. It's really a day off, but I do feel like it's some spots to play that we found in football and over here. So it's some good, decent spots today. Don't go too crazy. find good practices, shit like that. You know what I'm saying, man? Our eyes be in our favor because those at all times. You know what I'm saying? Super Gems was dropped. I hope that you took it in. I hope that you incorporated into your daily, how you go about everything. If you missed it, go back in the stream once it's uploaded on YouTube. It's some good information in there, and I hope it helps somebody. I know it'll help somebody, and that's the people I'm here for, the ones that listen and want to help. But other than that, we're gonna figure out something. Make sure y'all got Tails app. Y'all sign me. I'm gonna figure out something. I'm gonna post it today. Y'all know where I'm posting all the free plays at now. We went over that yesterday on Tails. You'll get notified instantly. So love y'all, man. Let's make some money. Don't go too crazy. We got a lot of playoff baseball tomorrow. Big slate of football. So don't go too crazy on the bankroll. Find you some spots. Make some good practices. Find you a little straight or something here and there. Say, let me practice this straight shit today on a couple plays. Nothing crazy. Don't go too crazy on the bankroll, right? Like, we ain't gonna do that. I appreciate you, Banner. Oh, it's all love. I love y'all, man. In a minute, man. It didn't even no reason to make the thread today. But yeah, I'm gonna post this for y'all, man. I will have a free play or something for y'all. I'm excited to try this college spread and total shit out. I seen some spots, but I'm gonna have to go back in here myself and look at them though. But I will find some for y'all that we can sit here and make some money today on our off day. I ain't got no off day. Soccer about to come on. I know that right now. So I don't got an off day. But still, for the ones who do, don't go crazy. Find you some good spots. Make some good practices, man. Love y'all.